Right now, we focus on the league and plenty to enjoy this afternoon. The commentary comes from Paisley. St Mirren up against Hearts with Stephen Thompson, Craig Levine and Liam McLeod.
Thank you. The teams will be with us shortly. The sun trying to break through the clouds above here in Renfrewshire as two sides out of form, out of sorts, go head to head here in Paisley. St Mirren without a win in 7 since dispatching Hibernian here in spectacular fashion on the opening day of the Premiership season. Hearts have only scored twice this campaign. They're struggling. 7 successive defeats, rock bottom of the Premiership. This is the team that eased to third spot last term, so they'll be very keen to try and break the duck today. They've got a decent record in Paisley though. St Mirren have only won 4 of the last 21 meetings all told, but Hearts have only lost 1 of their last 7 visits here to the town. That was the first meeting of last season when Ryan Strain scored the only goal of the game. The Saints so far this term, they've played 10, won just twice. 6 points worse off after 5 games than they were last season, when they were sat second in the table with only Celtic ahead of them. Hearts, of course, they've gone out of the Europa League, they've gone out of the League Cup as well as toiling in the Premiership. They've got this game, they're at home to Ross County, they've then got their Conference League campaign getting underway. So the schedule is going to become pretty unforgiving for them over the course of the middle to late autumn. And although the clock struck 3 o'clock, it's only right now that Don Robertson, the referee, leads the two sets of players out onto the pitch. Always a pristine playing surface here in Paisley. The St Mirren players peeling off to the left, Hearts to the right. And we will keep you up to date with what's going on across the country, elsewhere, across all of the SPFL in the 3 o'clock kickoffs. As you heard there just before Kenny handed to us, we have reporters at matches in the Championship, and I'll endeavour to keep you up to date with what's going on in Leagues 1 and 2 as well as those divisions as we go along. And already we've had some action this weekend with Motherwell going through to the semi-finals of the League Cup, beating Dundee United late on with that Lennon Miller penalty last night in stoppage time. With the other 3 quarters to come across the weekend. You missed the team news from here earlier on. 2 sets of players just breaking away from the lineup. In front of us, the skippers Mark O'Hara and Lawrence Shankland. Once of this parish, of course, Shankland, as they go through the coin toss with Don Robertson, the ref. It's one change for both today. Killian Phillips replacing Idowu in the midfield for St Mirren. Ellery Balcom in goal. Fraser Gogic, Taylor at the back. Rooney and Brown are the wing backs. Boyd Muntz, O'Hara and Phillips behind Mandron and Olasanya. Olasanya's been the man for the goals for St Mirren this season. He's got 5 of them. Mandron was last season's top scorer, just the one solitary strike so far. Spittle's in for Rolls for Hearts. It's Gordon in goal. Taylor, Halkett, Kingsley, Penrice, Grant Van Ingamy, Boateng, Spittle and Vargas with Shankland. So just about ready to go here. Hazy day in Paisley, and it's St Mirren who'll kick off in the black and white stripes, left to right as we watch from the back of the main stand. Hearts in the maroon defending the end of the stadium where their supporters are housed, and it's rolled back the way to Richard Taylor over to the left, and he shifts it to Jayden Brown with an awful pass straight to Lawrence Shankland, who's onto it and driving forward down the right, and Vargas is on the right as well. He's got Grant waiting in the middle, he pulls it back, great chance early on. Spittle's efforts blocked by Marcus Fraser. Hearts with a chance inside the opening seconds of the game. It was a dreadful ball by Jayden Brown out there to set it up, and already the St Mirren defence, which I think has come in for some criticism recently, Stephen, causing its own problems.
Yeah, I mean, it was virtually just straight from kick-off. Jayden Brown with a 10-yard pass gets it all wrong. Lawrence Shankland picks it up, plays Vargas down the right. He goes to the byline really well, cuts it back, and there was Spittle. He seemed to kind of almost pull out of this shot just as he was getting approached by the St Mirren defender. It was a good tackle and block in the end, but what a start from Hearts.
Spittle, he got sight of goal. It looked as though he was going to be able to rifle towards the goal frame unmolested, but it was blocked by Marcus Fraser as Hearts pick up, and it switched out to the right. There was a head knock there for one of the Saints players. I think it's Rooney that's down, just rubbing the back of his head. He's lucky to be playing today. We saw the review panel, I think it was, during the week there, suggesting the officials got it all wrong last week when it came to Sean Rooney. He had 2 kicks out, didn't he, last week against Kilmarnock, and I think if they'd their time again, he would have seen red as Hearts come forward with a uncontested drop ball. George Grant up to the edge of the box. Richard Taylor's there and he sweeps it clear, and it's a long one up towards halfway and then headed back towards the St Mirren box, away by Fraser into the centre circle where Olasanya tries to get onto it. Hearts emerge with it, and it's picked up by Craig Halkett out to the right for Gerald Taylor. Long ball down the right hand side. It's pulled back. Vargas looking for Shankland's back with Vargas, gets the break of the ball, rolls it back to Maliki Boateng out to the far side. It's picked up by Gerald Taylor, rolls it back to Boateng. Now it's shifted by Spittle out to the right hand side. The cross comes in. Richard Taylor tries to get it away, and then it bounces back towards goal, and it's a kind deflection back to Balcom, who holds on to it. There's been a goal in the Championship, the first in the afternoon, for Brian McLaughlin, who's watching Raith Rovers take on Hamilton Accies at Starks.
It's Raith Rovers 0, Hamilton 1. A penalty awarded to the visitors within the first 30 seconds. Dabrowski bringing down Ollie Shaw inside the box. Referee Lloyd Wilson pointed to the spot. Kevin O'Hara, no mistake from the penalty spot. It's Raith 0, Hamilton 1.
That is the first goal in the SPFL this afternoon, and it goes to Hamilton, who lead Raith Rovers. Throw in St Mirren on this near side. It's been a bright start. Craig Levine, opening thoughts from you. 3 minutes in, 0-0.
Well, I think Stephen Robinson will be absolutely furious. You know, I mean, if you're under pressure and the team's struggling a little bit, the last thing you afford to do is to give the opposition the ball when you're wide open, and that's exactly what St Mirren managed to do. And I think Penrith probably should have done a bit better with the shot. He'd have been a little bit more forceful. I think he could have scored.
It's Balcom for St Mirren, just rolling it low forward to Phillips. Long ball forward. Penrice is underneath it. He's able to get it away first time. Picked up there by the man mountain that is Killian Phillips, back in the side today on loan from Crystal Palace. There is an option to sign him full time next summer. He was on loan at Aberdeen in the second half of last season as St Mirren come down the left. Driving forward is Jayden Brown. He runs into Gerald Taylor. His pass to down the line is cut out by O'Hara, who goes down. No free kick. Hearts throw in only over on that far side, and it's going to be Gerald Taylor to take, with Gerald Taylor in the Hearts team, Richard Taylor in the Saints team, so we'll give them their first names as long as they're on the pitch together. And it is the Hearts man down the right hand side touchline with the throw, and it emerges into the midfield for Benny Beningame. He came into the team last week with his first action of the season at Celtic. He rolls it out to Penrice, early ball into the box, left by Richard Taylor, picked up by Shanklin, slices it up into the area. The header from Spittle's over the bar. Stephen Naismith jumping down in frustration, up and down in the touchline in front of us. He thought that was in. I think Spittle did, and I have to say, I thought that was dropping underneath the crossbar. It goes over it instead, and it stays nothing each.
It was very, very close, that's for sure. It was brilliant play from Hearts, working the ball from the middle of the pitch. Beningame out to the left-hand side. A really good run from Penrice, and the ball he put in was absolutely sensational. Missed by everybody. It goes to the back post. Lawrence Shanklin kept it alive, poked it into the middle of the box, and you just thought the header was going to drop in.
He should have scored, Tom.
Do you think he should have?
Yeah, I think he should have scored.
I mean, it's been a brilliant start from Hearts, but really poor from St Mirren.
The visitors look fired up today. On the back of 7 successive defeats, they are rewriting history. The run that they're on, as Grant turns it back to Boateng. Now it's Beningame, first time forward to Spittle, out to Penrice on this left-hand side, just inside his own half. He goes back to Kingsley, then to Halkett. It's a back 4 for Hearts today, effectively playing with a 4-3-3 with Vargas and Spittle either side of Shankland. As Gerald Taylor comes down the line, but it goes out of play. St Mirren have a throw-in over on that far side. It is 0-0 in the 2 Premiership matches, kicking off at 3 o'clock this afternoon. League Cup quarters, of course, dominating things. Craig?
Yeah, St Mirren have handed the impetus to Hearts here, and they haven't managed to break that in that's 5, nearly 6 minutes.
Straight from the kick-off.
Yeah, and it's been constant pressure from Hearts.
Hearts have it with Beningame with the header up to halfway. It's flicked on by Grant. O'Hara gets his head onto it, and then Gogic hooks it over his head up to halfway. O'Hara out to the left, and then down the line for Olasanya. He's driving forward. Hearts defenders around him. Halkett slides in and puts it out for a Saints throw-in, about level with the edge of the D of the Hearts box, over on that left North Bank side. And it's bowled back to Richard Taylor. Right-footed low ball out to Brown on the touchline on the left, gets the cross in, it's missed by Halkett, missed by Phillips as well though, which was good news for Halkett, and it's cleared by Beningame out for a throw-in on this near side for St Mirren, to be taken by Sean Rooney, who bowls it infield to Boyd Muntz. Back to Rooney, side foot pass with the right to the edge of the centre circle for Gogic, moves it to the left for O'Hara, right-footed ball out to Jayden Brown. This is better from the home team. Jayden Brown has it, faced by Gerald Taylor, and he wins the corner. The St Mirren fans wanted the ball in the box early, but he has at least forced St Mirren's first corner of the afternoon. 7 goalless minutes in here in Paisley.
Much better from St Mirren, working out to the left-hand side. I, like you, felt as though he should have crossed it earlier. Liam, he was just kind of toying with the defender, waiting for him to make a move, but he's won his team a corner, which Mark O'Hara will do from the far side. An in-swinger here.
Montrose have gone 1-0 up in League One at Dumbarton. East Fife 1-0 up at home to Peterhead. In comes O'Hara's corner. The header's in! It's a goal for St Mirren! And it's been nodded over the goalkeeper and into the net by Richard Taylor. After a bright start, Hearts find themselves behind on the back of 7 straight defeats, and Richard Taylor nods St Mirren in front, right in front of the Hearts supporters. St Mirren 1, Heart of Midlothian 0 in the 8th minute.
Yeah, and it's a very similar attempt at goal that we saw from Spittle, isn't it? And the ball just looped into the back of the net. So I think that's Taylor that's injured.
Gerald Taylor, yeah, I think he's got a head knock. I mean, I didn't see a foul.
Well, I think he was challenging with Olasanya for the... Was it Olasanya?
It was Taylor, no, it was Richard Taylor.
So the two Taylors together.
Yeah, he's clearly taken one in the back of the head. Obviously, VAR will look at it, but the quality of ball in from Mark O'Hara was good. Richard Taylor rose early, got his header on target, and if you're a Hearts manager, you're looking at that going, that is far, far too easy. A corner kick into the middle of the 6. It's got to be defended better.
Middle of the 6-yard box, unmarked. And I mean, Craig Gordon could do nothing about it. And I mean, if you look to where he's lying down, that's the spot where he headed the ball. That's probably 3 or 4 yards.
3 yards, yeah.
That is Hearts' season so far in microcosm.
Yeah, Nazy will be absolutely furious. You know, they started the game much the better side. They've had 2 chances. St Mirren go up the other end, get a set piece, and Hearts find themselves 1 behind.
Oh, it's funny because Stephen Robinson was talking before the match in his interview with Jane about how they need to defend set plays better. They lost 2 goals from them last weekend, and they've gone and scored 1 today. It just shows the importance of these situations. St Mirren do have a very, very big and physical team, a really tall team, so any ball coming into the box, you always feel there's going to be an opportunity.
I don't think there's any issues with the goal. Incidentally, there's been there is a bit of a stoppage just now because Gerald Taylor's continuing to get some treatment for that head knock he received just a moment ago as he tried to defend what's ultimately ended up being the goal that's put St Mirren in front. So that is why there's a lengthy stoppage just now. This goal appears to be good, so St Mirren have their lead. As far as the other goals I was telling you about just in the build-up there, Kane Hester scored for Montrose at the Rock against Dumbarton, and in League 2 Alan Troughton has scored the goal against Peterhead. He's been scoring goals for what seems like decades. Alan Troughton. East Fife 1, Peterhead 0 in League 2. So as I say, I'll endeavour to keep you up to date with what's going on. You can always keep in touch at any time at the website bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. We heard Brian bringing us news of Hamilton Accies leading in Kirkcaldy against Wraith Rovers. 1-0 as Gerald Taylor's helped off here. There's a real hush around the stadium. I think the St Mirren fans, I was pretty certain that goal was going to stand there, but the St Mirren fans weren't so sure.
You never know these days, Liam. You just never know, do you?
Game back on. Hearts take centre and they're up the pitch again here with Shanklin. Rolls it back to Beningame. Midway inside the St Mirren half. And then turns it out to Penrice on this left-hand side. Bends the ball into the box. Headed away by Gogic. Olasanya controls in the chest. He's knocked it back towards his own box. Sliced high into the air by Boyd Muntz, right the edge of his own area. Spittle headed into the Saints box. Half away by Gogic. Taken down by Grant, who shoots for goal in the half volley. And it goes over the crossbar and into the stand behind Balcom's goal. And it remains Saints 1, Hearts 0-11. And how's your luck for Hearts just now? Started the game as well as I think they've started a game this season, certainly in the league. And they find themselves behind again.
Yeah, and I just think it's a case of Richard Taylor wanted it more when the ball was in the air. He was more aggressive, got first contact, and that resulted in the goal. But again, I mean, it hasn't settled St Mirren. That's the interesting thing. They still look very nervy because there were a couple of clearances there that were just lashing at them.
It was poor, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Really untidy. It comes to Grant with the shot eventually. I thought it was like he could have hit it first time in the volley. He took his touch. It would have been some goal if he'd managed to get it on target, but it dipped over the bar.
Boyd Muntz winning it back for Saints in the midfield. Forward to Phillips, who goes down. The ref doesn't give him the free kick. Gerald Taylor back on, by the way, and as the long ball to Shankland comes through, there's been a clash inside the Hearts box, and it's Olasanya and Craig Gordon, and it looks like another head knock, so there's going to be another stoppage in play here with both sets of medical teams making their way.
Olasanya's very late. I don't know whether VAR are going to look at this. I mean, they were both kind of rushing for the ball. Craig Gordon going to kick it clear, but then Olasanya just clatters right into him. I don't know whether he slipped it and that took him into Craig Gordon or not, but yeah, he's going to get booked. Don Robertson's got a yellow card out. It was a late challenge. Yeah, he just clatters into Craig Gordon there, and the yellow card's the right decision. I don't know why he doesn't need to do it. I don't know why he goes and makes contact with Craig Gordon.
He's that type of player though, Tom, isn't? And you know, he's wholehearted and he goes for challenges. It's sometimes you think, wow, that's just a wee bit dangerous.
He is. I mean, he's definitely improved this season. I think, you know, in terms of his goal scoring ratio, he's got 3 goals in the league so far this season. It's something I think he had to improve on. A couple of times I've seen him in the past going through one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and you're never sure about him. He didn't look that assured, but he's managed to get a couple of goals this season. But his pace and his athleticism will cause defences problems.
Yellow card for Olasanya. There was a VAR check for a possible red. They are happy with that. Stephen McLean's the VAR. His Hearts come forward, and it's lashed high and wide by Kenneth Vargas. Ambitious effort from around 21, 22 yards from goal. His Hearts attack the goal to the left. It's going to be a goal kick only for St Mirren. Let's go to Dingwall and see what kind of game John Robertson's watching. Ross County up against St Johnstone. Robbo.
It's 15 minutes gone here. It's still 0-0. Both teams are basically matched up against each other, so you can imagine it's pretty tight. Nobody's really running off anybody. There was a half decent effort from Andre Raymond. He won a couple of great tackles in the midfield, drove forward, got a little bit break of the ball, and with nobody closing him down, he decided to lip pop with his left foot from 25 yards, but it was well wide. But we're 15 minutes in and it's 0-0.
It's been another goal at Starks Park. Brian McLaughlin.
What a goal as well from Lewis Stevenson, an equaliser from Wraith Rovers. 25 yards out on the volley, gave the goalkeeper absolutely no chance into the roof of the net. Wraith Rovers 1, Hamilton 1.
I have to say, when I heard what a goal from, I was not expecting the words Lewis and Stevenson to come out of Brian's mouth after that. That's a collector's item. Wraith Rovers back on level terms against Hamilton Accies here on Sportsound this Saturday afternoon on BBC Radio Scotland across the frequencies. To come later, Rangers against Dundee, Aberdeen Spartans in the quarter-finals of the League Cup, Celtic Falkirk tomorrow. Throw in St Mirren, who have a 1-0 lead on Hearts here, approaching 15 minutes. Ding ball up the line by Fraser, nice touch by Rooney, infield. It goes to Mandron, comes off him last, and out for a throw into Hearts on this near side. Hearts' record sequence of defeats is 10. Now back to the late 70s for that, and Halkett with a really poor touch and almost allowed Olasanya to nick it off him and roll it into an empty net.
Two really nervous teams, aren't they?
Yeah, you can see it.
That's a long ball for Vargas to chase down the right. He's in the attacking third. He goes down. He's got the free kick as well.
Clumsy.
It's the goal scorer, Richard Taylor. Incidentally, Taylor's goal is first for the club. and it's his challenge over on the far side that's been penalised. Now this is about level with the St Mirren penalty spot over on that far side.
I never understand why defenders do that when players are going nowhere. He's going nowhere, he's on the byline, you know, he's not getting the ball under control. He is, just jockey him, you don't need to make the contact. Now Hart's got a really good situation here on the right hand side, being able to put a ball into the box. This is exactly the sort of thing that Stephen Robinson was talking about, in defending better these situations.
Spittle's over it, and they've committed everyone forward apart from Beningame. Everyone outfield wise for Hearts is in and around the box, and it's headed away though on the 6-yard line, and then hoisted away by Boyd Muntz. Up in there it goes again, and Boyd Muntz beats Kingsley in the jump. Here's Olasanya on the spins, a good turn as well. He's been caught. Well, is there an advantage for St Mirren here? The referee says there isn't, and it will be a free kick. Killian Phillips ran into a cul-de-sac, and the ref gives Saints the free kick just to the left of the centre circle inside their own half, and Gogic is over it. Might just leave this for his goalkeeper in the end by the looks of it, the Cypriot. So it will be Balcombe. It's been a tough run for St Mirren as well. It's not quite as bad as Hearts. 7 games without a victory is not ideal for Stephen Robinson, as Balcombe fires it high into the box. It's past everyone though. He's looking for Sean Rooney. We know how dangerous he is with his head in the opposition box, but it goes over his head this time and behind the goal kick. And on 17 minutes, it stays Saints 1, Hearts 0.
Yeah, he just got too much on it there, didn't he, the goalkeeper? It was the right idea, the diagonal to the far side for Rooney, but...
Do you think, though, that the goalkeeper should be taking that?
No, I would rather... I think he is quite good with the ball at his feet right enough at kicking, but you'd probably prefer it was an outfield player.
Good break forward by Hearts there. Penrice down the left. His slow ball in was cut out, and it goes behind for a Hearts corner kick. This is their first of the afternoon.
Penrice has looked decent down the left-hand side.
He's getting a lot of space, which must be a concern for Stephen Robinson, that. Hearts were better last week, but it's a thankless task these days going to Celtic Park. It has been for some time, I suppose, but as much as they put into the game, it was still a 2-0 defeat. 7th in the row, as Spittle takes, good header, goal Hearts! Fabulous header by Craig Halkett, who meets it at the left angle of the 6-yard box and flashes it across Balcombe into the far corner. A much needed and probably deserved equaliser for the visitors. It's St Mirren 1, Heart of Midlothian 1, 18 played.
Yeah, it was quite a flat ball, wasn't it? But it was a brilliant run by Halkett across the front. I don't know who was at the front post for the first post for St Mirren, but Halkett was a brilliant run. He's managed to glance it in, and Hearts thoroughly deserved the equaliser.
Yeah, I mean, Stephen Robinson, as soon as the goal went in, I looked at him down in the touchline, he had his head in his hands, because that is a very similar goal to the one they lost against Kilmarnock last week, which made it 2-0. A front post ball from a corner kick. Halkett's header's absolutely brilliant. His run's superb, meets it at full pace. Goalkeeper no chance, but I can tell you right now, Stephen Robinson will be absolutely furious. He said they worked on it during the week.
That's what's been symptomatic of St Mirren's defending recently. There's been a goal in Dingwall, John Robertson.
And it's a goal for the home side. It's a terrible mistake from Jack Sanders. He's played a straight ball into midfield, and Spangler was under pressure. It was nicked by Nisbet. He played it through to Ronan Hale. He cut inside and lashed it into the bottom corner. It's Ross County 1, St Johnstone 0.
County in front. Amazing what a couple of good results can do for you. They could be looking at top 4 after seemingly being not quite in crisis, but struggling for results. But Don Cowie's got an excellent home record as Ross County manager, by and large. And even the game they lost to Aberdeen very late on a few weeks ago was a match that they could have won themselves. As Vargas drives down the right-hand side, he gets the ball in for Hearts, and it was missed there by Rooney. He's fortunate Shanklin wasn't onto that. Penrice slides in on this near side, keeps it in play, but only to the benefit of Fraser, though his ball's loose and out with Beningame. There's Spittle, a little back heel. Beningame driving down the left-hand side, flicks it with the outside of the boot for Penrice, and then Beningame goes down. Fraser's challenge, no free kick, says the referee, and it was behind for the goal kick to St Mirren.
It's clever from Marcus Fraser, really clever to block the run-off of Beningame, because it was a brilliant wee 1-2, and he was bearing down in goal, but
he was lucky to get away with that.
Another day, I think that's a foul, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Well, that header from Craig Halkett, his first goal since Saturday the 5th of March 2022. when he scored against Dundee United at Tannadice. He's, of course, been besieged by injury problems over the course of the last couple of seasons.
Oh, what you
Hearts
doing?
win it back. Gerald Taylor off his namesake Richard, and it's Gerald Taylor down the right hand side of the St Mirren box. Low ball across, cut out by Gogic and cleared out for a throw-in over on the far side. This has been a very good Hearts performance, and Stephen Naismith will feel that his team should be in front, not just level.
He's got to do better.
Some of the decision making has been poor in the last third for
do
Hearts.
better. I mean, the ball for me was the dink to the back post.
Yeah, it was, absolutely.
He lifted his head as well. He knew what was on. Just really poor final delivery, but shocking again from Richard Taylor on the left-hand side, trying to mess about with the ball when he should have cleared it, got it nicked off him.
Long thrown into the box, and Mandron gets a touch onto it and puts it behind for, I think, what was going to be a corner, but the ref says goal kick. He'd a better view of it perhaps than the linesman on that occasion. League One, Cove Rangers have taken the lead in Inverness against Cali Thistle. 1-0 to Cove. In League Two, Forfar Stranraer 1. In the bottom tier, Matt Guthrie has scored that goal, and Max Guthrie rather, and Bonnyrigg Rose have gone 1-0 up at Stirling Albion, also in League Two, and it's an own goal from Cameron McKinley. Stirling Albion 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 1. And it's going to be picked up here by Penrice, and a free kick for Hearts, which Spittle takes. Just getting a little bit of information that might not be a Richard Taylor goal for St Mirren, Tomo. It might well go down as an own goal for Gerald Taylor. And of course they collided at the time.
Very difficult to see, wasn't it, in real time? But yeah, I think it might well end up trying taking it off Richard Taylor right enough, but it might well end up going down as a Gerald Taylor OG. I didn't see it that way myself.
No, I didn't either.
I thought he's headed it down. It might well have come off Gerald Taylor's back,
yeah,
just
or
the top of his back.
head, maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think Richard Taylor's initial header was on target, so generally speaking, it would go to the attacking player. But anyway, it's 1-1 in Paisley. We've played a quarter of it. Hearts the better side. And Stephen, I don't know what's happened. St Mirren look a little bit out of sorts. Last time I saw them in the flesh would have probably been round about the time they were playing the Icelandic team, the Norwegian side, in the Conference League qualifiers. They obviously hammered Hibs here. There just seems to be a severe lack of confidence among the players just now. What's caused that?
I'm not awfully sure, to be honest with you, Liam. I think defensively, as I said before the game, there's been issues this season in terms of conceding goals that they weren't conceding last season. But they also are giving the ball away. You know, their ball retention isn't great in terms of being in possession. There's a lot of turnovers, a lot of mistakes, people getting caught in the ball. And I think that just is, mostly a confidence thing.
I think both teams are showing signs of a lack of confidence.
Looking at a foul in Mandron there. The ref eventually blows. St Mirren passed the ball back the way. And it's two frustrated-looking managers down there as well. Free kicks taken, long out to Jaden Brown, who controls in the chest, left-hand side of the Hearts box, an early ball in. Kingsley's there to get it away from his 6-yard line. O'Hara picks it up on the far side. He knocks it back to Richard Taylor. An eventful first half for the St Mirren centre-back. He's going to get back onto it now in an attacking position here. He's managed to find Phillips at the edge of the box, but he loses out to Benny Beningame, who finds Grant. Grant then couldn't get through a ruck of Saints players, and the ref brings it back for a foul on Beningame just in the previous phase of play. 25th minute of the game. One apiece here. 1-0 to Ross County against St Johnstone in Dingwall. Let's go to Amy Canavan, who's watching the championship match between Queen's Park and High Flying Air United.
High Flying Air United indeed, Liam, but they're not doing very much with the ball here. They're certainly dominating it at the National Stadium, but Queen's Park have had the only effort, and I say an effort, it was rather tame. It was never ever troubling. Young Liam Russell in goal, who is in for his debut, but he's had a quiet afternoon so far, goalless at a very boring game at the National Stadium.
Gully Singh watching Partick Thistle Dunfermline.
Yeah, Liam, still 0-0 here, Partick Thistle Dunfermline. New loanee signing, Kaneo Megwa. He had an inviting cross early on. Brian Graham was not far off it. There was a clash of heads on 15 minutes between Harry Milne and Tom Fogarty. There was a yellow for Fogarty. Other than that, Chris Hamilton, he's been shown a yellow for a foul on Megwa, who's looked very lively so far. But it's still Partick Thistle 0, Dunfermline 0.
Blair Spittle's down receiving treatment here in Paisley, so we can go to Brian McLaughlin, who is watching that entertaining game, I would have thought, at Kirkcaldy, Brian.
Yeah, very entertaining. It's still Raith Rovers 1, Hamilton 1. The visitors taking the lead in the first minute. Kevin O'Hara penalty. Lewis Stevenson with a pile driver after 15 minutes for the equaliser. The one downside for Raith, who have started to really pile the pressure on Hamilton now, is an injury to Lewis Vaughan. Now, he's been troubled with so many knee injuries over the past 4 years or so. He's had numerous cruciate injuries, but he's had to come off again, and it looks like his left leg, his left knee in particular, is an injury to that. So anyway, we've played 27 minutes here now. It's Raith Rovers 1, Hamilton 1.
And staying in the Championship, I believe Chick Young's managed to get the kit working. He's down the road from here at Capello watching Morton Airdrieonians. Chick, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Liam. Yeah, I got the money in and pushed press button A, and it all seemed to work after that.
Man.
Older people will know what I'm talking about. It's a great game actually up to now. Still 0-0 between Airdrie and Morton down at Greenock here. Just a rasping shot from Owen Moffat over the crossbar. I thought that was going in. You were going to arrive with Bob Hope timing, but it just went over the bar. Before that, best chance of the game. Ben Wilson just put it beyond the post. Great work down the right side by Lewis McGregor. It's still 0-0.
I was very nearly cutting a cross check there. Good, wonderful play again. Hearts down the left. Penrice swung the ball in, and it almost dropped to Shankland. For some reason, Craig, it just seemed to bobble away from them in what looked like a great position.
Yeah,
but we'll get to that in a second, because they've taken a long throw to St Mirren clear. Craig.
Yeah, I think that's been Shankland's luck at this minute in time. The ball's just not bounced the right way for him.
It's not the longest he's gone without a goal in his Hearts career. It's not far off it now, though, as St Mirren come down the left, and there's a foul over there on Olisanya, I think it is, who's gone down.
Yeah, it wasn't a foul. It was a good tackle from Beningame, but it was when he went to ground after the tackle, he seemed to be in distress. I don't really know what it is that's wrong with him.
He had his hand up, didn't he?
He did straight away. Yeah. I don't know whether it's muscular then, I don't really know, but it was a good bit of defending from Benny Beningame. He wins the tackle.
They cannot afford to lose Toyosi Olisanya.
Well, he's such a good outball for them, isn't he, with his pace? I mean, they do have other options until, you know, Kevin Van Veen. We've not really seen much of him yet in a St Mirren shirt. James Scott as well, and of course you've got a Yunga on the bench. So St Mirren have got cover in forward areas, but nobody quite like Olisanya.
Well, James Scott thought he'd won the game last week, didn't he, against Kilmarnock here. 2-2 draw. Looked like the winner went in stoppage time. Olisanya poleaxed on the deck over on that far side. So it's been plenty stoppages in the match. It's going to be plenty stoppage time added on at the end of the opening 45. We played 28 and a half of them, with a quick whistle stop tour of the grounds there. Ross County 1, St Johnstone 0, and the other game in the Premiership being played this afternoon in the Championship. Goalless Morton Airdrie, as we're hearing. Partick Thistle 0, Dunfermline 0, Queen's Park 0, Ayr 0, and 1-1 Raith Rovers Hamilton. In League 1, Alloa 0, Kelty Hearts 0. It's goalless Arbroath Annan as well. Montrose 1-0 up at Dumbarton. Cove Rangers 1-0 up at Cali Thistle. 0-0 Stenhousemuir, Queen of the South. In League 2, goalless Clyde against Elgin City. East Fife 1, Peterhead 0, Forfar 0, Stranraer 1, and Stirling Albion 0, Bonnyrigg 1. Throw in St Mirren down the left-hand side, picked up by the skipper O'Hara, turning away back towards his own goal as he looks for an option. He almost managed to find Jaden Brown. It comes bouncing off Vargas and out for a St Mirren throw. Now this is about level with the Hearts penalty spot on the Saints' left, and Killian Phillips waits in the middle amongst others. Mandron there too. He's taken short to Jaden Brown, tries to take on Vargas, wins another throw-in, exactly the same position. St Mirren took the lead through what's going down right now as a Gerald Taylor own goal. As Brown crosses in, there's a header at goal which was well wide from Phillips in the end. Good few yards wide, and on the half hour it remains one apiece, and it was Hearts levelling proceedings through Craig Halkett with a header of his own, another from a corner, and again symptomatic of the defensive frailties of both these sides. Both the goals going in at the end of a set play. It's going to be a ball over there for Hearts eventually when the Football comes back from the stand on the far side. Gerald Taylor is over it. Stephen Robinson, he's not quite as animated and bouncy as I've seen him. Stephen Naismith, on the other hand, is giving all kinds of body language off. It is Olasanya in the midfield. He's rolled it into the centre circle, though only to George Grant for Hearts. Again, Saints give it away. Both teams have been guilty of giving it away at times. As it's swept to Boateng inside the centre circle. He goes back to Halkett. Rolls it low out to the far side. Gerald Taylor looks up, long right-footed ball down the far side. Vargas gives chase. Richard Taylor comes to meet him. The flag goes up anyway. Offside, and it remains Saints 1, Hearts 1. 14 to the break.
The game is quite in the balance. I would say Hearts have created the better opportunities in the game. 30 minutes in, 31 minutes in. But a couple of occasions have been in good areas and maybe just not had the break or the bit of luck that they needed with the ball falling to them in the box. St Mirren have struggled to do anything really creative in the match through open play. They've struggled to kind of look like they're going to score from open play.
Played up towards the halfway line. Boateng is onto it for Hearts. St Mirren giving it away again. It's now with Penrice on this near side, right in front of the two dugouts. And he rolls it back the way to Kingsley. He finds Penrice. And then forward to Beningame. He goes down and wins the free kick right on the halfway line.
Beningame does a good job for Hearts, doesn't he?
I like him.
Yeah, I mean, he seems to be in all the right positions to pick up second balls, and he's very tidy when he does get the ball.
He's comfortable on the ball.
I think that Hearts are a better side with him in it, for sure.
I agree. But he's been clattered into there by Marcus Fraser. It's going to be a Hearts free kick, but taking a while to get back to his feet. I don't really know what's the issue.
Incidentally, there is a highlights programme this evening, highlights of this one and the match in Dingwall. That's at 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel, but not with Stephen Thompson this weekend.
No, there is no, I don't think there's any guests or any real studio. I think it's just the games tonight, Liam.
Is David doing it?
I'm not really sure.
Not sure. Anyway, it's a long ball forward. It's around about the 18-yard line. Is it Jane doing it? No? Don't even know. Anyway, it's going to be picked up inside the centre circle. Halkett rolls it out to the right, and the yellow card comes out for Kingsley for a challenge on Olasanya, and that's going to be a free kick for St Mirren inside the centre circle. The game just settling down a little bit just in the last period. I suppose the breaks in play with the injuries will.
It's been so stop-start, hasn't it?
It has, yeah, it has. I think Kingsley had to make that free kick there, though, because Olasanya looked like he's out to turn the burners on. Just two hands around his waist, and he's pulled him to the ground and picked up a yellow card.
Free kick to be taken by Gogic, right-footed, clips it up to the edge of the Hearts box. It's headed on by Phillips. Well done there, and a wonderful finish of Olasanya, who ghosts in. It's a static, statuesque Hearts defence, and Olasanya rifles it into the top right corner. It's a really cheap goal for Hearts to concede, but St Mirren have their lead back, and they don't care. St Mirren 2, Heart of Midlothian 1.
It's just a direct ball from the free kick up to the edge of the box. Killian Phillips does really well to win the flick on, but after that, you credit Olasanya for being on his toes, getting to the ball, fires it into the roof of the net, but the Hearts defenders just stood and watched them.
Rooted to the spot, all of them, weren't they? And then he get nicks in between, manages to get the contact on it. Craig Gordon's no chance, he's inside the 6-yard box, he puts it into the roof of the net. And that's poor defending from Hearts there.
Both Hearts goals, in terms of defensively, have been absolutely abysmal. Really, really poor that.
Olasanya was alive to it though, and that's what you want from your striker. He had that injury just a moment ago. It didn't look great for him, but he's got himself into that position. He's lashed it home. I think Phillips has got the slightest little flick onto it.
He has, yeah.
Which is taking it through to him. But that's what you want from your striker.
4 goals in 6 games now in the league. 4 goals. So, you know, I said earlier on, I think this season he's starting to add more goals to his performances. It was certainly an emphatic finish, albeit he wasn't very far out, but he put it right in the top bin.
6th of the season for Olasanya. 5 ahead of last season's top scorer as Spittle picks up for Hearts. It's Penrice, low ball across, comes off the defender and away to safety on this near side. Hearts continuing to come forward. It comes off Rooney and out for a Hearts throw-in on this near side. Let's quickly go to Hampden and Amy Canavan.
Yeah, we have a goal here at Hampden, Liam, and it is for Queen's Park, kind of against the run of playoff late. I know I said that they had that one chance, really the only chance of the game so far, but here we're starting to come into the game, had a flurry of corners, and in fact it came from a corner for Queen's Park. Scott Brown will be absolutely furious. Stephen Whittaker as well with the defending. Ball on the far side from the corner, worked all the way to the back post and totally unmarked. Camby Kerr manages to rise high and just nods simply home, like I say, completely unmarked. That Ayr United bench are not happy. Queen's Park 1, Ayr United 0.
2-1 to St Mirren here. 1-0 Ross County against St Johnstone in the other game in the Premiership taking place this afternoon in Dingwall. And right here in Paisley, it's a throw into St Mirren over on the far side. Richard Taylor will take it. He bowls it across halfway, but it's straight to Boateng, who heads it forward looking for Shankland. Still waiting for his first goal of the season. It's Boateng with a long ball. Vargas is going to get in behind here, but it's a poor touch off his knee. And it comes right through to Balcombe Stephen Naismith with his head in his hands down below us. St Mirren 2, Hearts 1.
Yeah, what can the manager do about that? I mean, it's just really, really poor touch by Vargas.
He takes it off his knee, but it goes about 10 yards in front of him. He's quick, he's not that quick.
Malcolm taking on Shankland and clearing. He's found O'Hara as well. Great ball. Here's a chance for Richard Taylor to pop it through to Lasagna. There has been another goal in Kirkcaldy. We'll get to Stark's Park in just a moment. St Mirren on the attack. O'Hara exchanging passes with Brown on the far side. Looks up at the Hearts box. Drifts the ball in. Mandron heads it back towards the penalty spot. Met by Halkett, who clears out to this near side for a throw-in. Brian McLaughlin at Starks.
Yeah, Raith have turned us around. They now lead by 2 goals to 1. Substitute Finlay Pollock on target. A wonderful ball through by Dylan Easton into the path of Pollock, who's on for the injured Lewis Vaughan. Rounded the goalkeeper and knocked the ball into the back of the empty net. Raith Rovers 2, Hamilton 1.
Finlay Pollock on loan from Hearts as Rooney bowls it into the Hearts penalty area. Flicked on by Phillips, cleared by Halkett. Picked up here by Fraser, rolls it out to the right-hand side for Rooney. Bends the cross in, it should be Craig Gordon's and is. As he holds on, it stays Saints 2, Hearts 1. Bowled out quickly by Gordon to Vargas on the far side. And then rolled infield to Boateng. Towards the edge of the centre circle, back to Beningame, but he's passed it straight to Mandron. He's fortunate to get it back quickly though. And now Penrice out to Grant on this near side. Right-footed bending ball in, looking for Spittle in between the 2 centre-backs. Richard Taylor looked as though he misjudged that just for a moment, but he reacts at the last and he's able to come away with it. He finds Fraser, he finds Rooney, he finds Phillips, to Rooney, to Fraser, to Rooney, and then to Richard Taylor just to the right of his own box. And he launches it forward with the left foot. Played themselves out of bother there pretty well. Halkett misjudges the long ball, but he gets back onto it and rolls it back to his goalkeeper. Craig Gordon fires it quickly out to this near side to Penrice, but it goes out for a throw-in on this near side. Hearts looking so ragged. They've been caught by that second St Mirren goal and they look a little bit punch drunk as a result. Thrown by Rooney, bowls it back to Fraser, looks up, left-footed chip ball forward, is cleared by Kingsley. I mean, this is, with the exception of a couple of new signings, you've got Penrice, Boateng and Spittle in there, of course, but this Hearts team that eased to 3rd spot last term, and they just can't get going this season for whatever reason. Stephen Naismith cannot get the engine running.
It's far from a fluid performance. The goals that they've conceded have both been very, very poor. At times they've looked decent down this left-hand side. I think Penrice has been one of the better players this afternoon, along with Beningame. But yeah, it's disjointed, isn't it?
Gerald Taylor down the right for Boateng. Forward to Vargas. I suppose with Gerald Taylor in there, it's 4 new signings in the team today, and Jaden Brown's going to go into the book here for a late challenge over on the far side of Maliki Boateng. Jaden Brown booked, and I don't think he's complaining, so that probably tells its own story.
Yeah, it was 100% a yellow card. Poor tackle from Jaden Brown on Boateng. Chance for Hearts to load the box now.
Heading towards the final 5 minutes of the first half of the regulation 45. Let's go to Czech, who is watching that game at Capello. There's been a goal.
There's been a goal.
There you are, Czech. Are you there?
On the home side, it's Morton ahead. It's Zach Delaney with a head.
Right, well, I think Morton have gone in front in that game, that's for sure. So, unfortunately, Chick's line is pretty dreadful. So Morton look as though they've taken the lead against Airdrieonians there. It's been a difficult start to the league season for Rhys McCabe and his players as Craig Gordon picks up the ball inside his own area. It's a long left-footed clearance down the throat of the pitch, headed away by Fraser into the centre circle. Halkett meets it. It's broken to Killian Phillips, who knocks it forward. And Olasanya chasing it down. Kingsley trying to get there, and Olasanya doesn't have any finesse in the finish, and he slices it well wide, and it stays St Mirren 2, Hearts 1.
That's the other side of.
Well, so what would you have done there?
I think I might have taken a touch further in.
Yeah.
You know, he had space to kind of drive into it. Now, it sat up nicely for him, but...
Do you think he was trying to over the top of the goalkeeper?
No, I think he was just trying to put his foot through it on a half volley and got it completely and utterly wrong.
But he was in again, wasn't he?
So easy.
Yeah.
One pass from Killian Phillips over the top. He should have shown more composure. And this is the thing I was talking about from last season. He's obviously still got a wee bit of that in him.
I think probably more on his left side.
Right.
Yeah.
It's probably been Hearts' poorest spell in the game since St Mirren scored the second goal.
Yeah.
Just look a little bit stunned by it all.
I much preferred Chick's voice like that, though, did you not?
He sounded like a robot or something.
A little bit like a Dalek.
Yeah.
It's going to be a throw-in on the far side for St Mirren. Richard Taylor takes it, bowls it forward down the far side touchline. And breaks back in field. That the referee's given Hearts the decision over there. Zach Delaney scored that goal for Morton against Airdrie at Capello, so it's confirmation of that. Morton 1, Airdrieonians 0. It's 1-0 still in Dingwall. Ross County leading against St Johnstone, and that remains the case there. That Ronan Hale goal separating the sides. 2-1 St Mirren here against Hearts as Hearts come forward, cross into the box, headed away by Fraser, breaks to Penrice. Really decent effort there on the left foot, hit it on the volley, and Balcom forced to dive to his right, put it behind for the corner. It stays Saints 2, Hearts 1.
I don't think he was taking any chances, the goalkeeper, was he? I mean, they could have held it. It was in proximity, but I think he was just playing safe. And
it was a brilliant hit to get it on target. I mean, it must have been a good 25, 26 yards out from Penrice, who's been Hearts' best player.
Corner to Hearts, taken by Spittle. Knocks it to the back post area for Halkett. Those were the two that combined to score the Hearts goal, but Gogic gets there and heads it out for a throw-in over on the far side. East Fife 2-0 up on Peterhead now, and it's now 1 apiece between Forfar and Stranraer. Those two games in League 2. There's been another goal in Dingwall. We're going to get to that just after this long throw for Hearts, which is going to be taken by Gerald Taylor on the far side into the St Mirren box, flicked on by Halkett, breaks to Kingsley with his back to goal. Shanklin trying to lay it back to Spittle, but Killian Phillips does brilliantly, and he's been brought crashing to the ground by Grant, who's going to be yellow carded by referee Don Robertson. Free kick St Mirren just outside their own box. They lead 2-1. John Robertson in Dingwall.
It's an equaliser for St Johnstone. Ross County had two wonderful chances. Akio Wright had a header knocked off the line before John Wright smashed it over the bar, and just a minute later Ronan Hale was put through, but dragged his shot wide. But St Johnstone have played their way back into this game without really threatening. And just before half time there, we had Spangler and Dre Wright shots blocked. The second one was blocked and deflected wide for a corner. That corner came in from Smith. It was knocked out to the 18-yard line, and Dre Wright has smashed it low and hard through a rookie players. It's 1-1.
Here's Gogic, good driving run forward, finds Mandron. Now he's found Olasanya, he shoots, and it's a really important block by the sliding Halkett. Breaks out to Brown on the left-hand side, level with the 6-yard line. His cross comes in, it's cut out, and St Mirren have a corner. And they were almost in for a third there, Craig.
Yeah, I think wonderful defending by Halkett. He really threw himself in front. I mean, I couldn't tell from here whether it was on target or not, but it was wonderful defending.
We're about to find out what the stoppage time is. We're about 30 seconds away from the end of the 45 minutes. O'Hara's going to take the corner against this Hearts defence that's struggling. It's towards the back post, and Craig Gordon holds on. Wasn't the best delivery by O'Hara. He saw 2 or 3 in black and white had peeled off to the back post. Couldn't find any of them. There's going to be 4 minutes added on at the end of the first half here. A minimum of, by all accounts. No surprise about that. That's it confirmed down below us now. This comes back to Penrice, who slips it infield to Kingsley. Kingsley then squares it over to Boateng on the right. Then into the Saints half, it's with Gerald Taylor. to the midway point of Saints territories. Ball down the line for Vargas, goes out though.
Awful.
It's going to be a throw into St Mirren.
It's a simple pass again, you know, illustrative of this Hearts performance. It's a 15-yard pass down the line. He passes it out the pitch. Lots for Stephen Naismith to discuss and go through at half-time for his side.
Some of the decision-making and execution in the last third has been really, really poor by Hearts.
It has been. That's been kind of notable. They have been the team that have got into the final third probably more often in the game, but when they get there, it's just really, really poor.
Pretty good for half an hour, but since that Olasanya goal restored the St Mirren lead,
it's knocked the stuffing out of them, I think.
It has, completely. You can see that. And that's what happens, I suppose, Craig, when you've got a team playing with low confidence that's lost its last 7 games in succession.
Yeah. They're playing on their nerves, you know, that's a dangerous place to be.
And they're probably looking at the performance, and even when we're playing well, we're getting beat. And that, I suppose, can be a problem. The half-time whistle's beginning to go across the country. For example, it's half-time at Starks Park, where Raith Rovers lead Hamilton by 2-1. As I said, the scores are there for you at any time at bbc.co.uk/sportscotland. The live text up and running as usual. It's going to be a long throw in for Hearts. Gerald Taylor from about the midway point of the St Mirren half on the right throws it into the box. Jaden Brown heads clear, and then flicked on by Richard Taylor. Spittle gets there ahead of O'Hara, but Boyd munches onto it and nods it forward to Olasanya. He rolls it back the way to Jaden Brown. Scoops the ball into the midfield. George Grant with the flick. And then back to his goalkeeper by Penrice. Low ball, and it's Craig Gordon who finds Kingsley. Long left foot raking pass forward. Hearts looking for a second equaliser before half-time. First half stoppage time it is. Phillips goes down on the near side. No free kick, says Don Robertson. Saints fans not happy with the decision, but Rooney reads it as the throw-in was taken quickly towards Shankland. Rooney gets onto it, and Saints get it away. And we've got about a minute and a half of the 4 that were added to play, as Phillips looked as though he had a high boot in the face there from Penrice. The referee didn't see it that way, and it's going to be a throw into Hearts on this near side.
I think he just about pulled out in time.
Throw in here for Hearts. Penrice is going to take. It's short to Grant and back to Penrice. Kingsley to Gordon. Long left foot ball forward towards halfway. The header from Phillips.
Here's me thinking I was commentating on the football as well.
Exactly what I'm doing, Craig. Here's Gogic. Twists away from Shanklin and rolls it back to Balcombe. The edge of his own box. Long with the right foot out to the far side for Brown. The header won by Gerald Taylor. He's landed awkwardly, and this might be another stoppage in play. There's an offside flag as well, so he didn't even need to go into the challenge. Not that he knew it at the time, but he's been left on the deck, so he's going to have to receive some attention by the looks of things over there. And we're in the final minute of the 4 that referee Robertson added on at the end of the first half. Here, as I say, the half-time whistle's going across the country. The Hearts man getting himself back to his feet over on that far side. It's half-time, Queen's Park 1, Ayr 0. As I said, Raith 2, Hamilton 1, Morton 1, Ayr Geonians 0. Half-time in Dingwall, Ross County 1, St Johnstone 1. And a full update to come during the interval from this match here in Paisley. St Mirren on the ball with Mandron, but John Robertson sounds the half-time whistle, and listen to the reaction from the visiting support, who I can tell you have absolutely packed the end off to a right behind Craig Gordon's goal. But it's been an issue for them all season. They've watched goals go past their goalkeeper way too often, and it's happened twice again in the first half of this game. And it looked as though Richard Taylor had got the first one for St Mirren. It's gone down as a Gerald Taylor OG. So we'll wait and see if that is the correct decision, but that gave Saints the lead in the game after a bright start by Hearts. It was 8 minutes in when St Mirren took the lead. Halkett equalised 11 minutes later, nodding across the goalkeeper into the reverse far right corner from Spittle's corner to make it 1 apiece. For half an hour, Hearts were the better side, yet they find themselves behind again. Tayusi Olasanya from a free kick. It was flicked on by Killian Phillips, right-hand side of the box. The Hearts defence stopped, although Shania certainly didn't, and he smashed it into the top right corner to leave the half-time scoreline here in Paisley. St Mirren 2, Heart of Midlothian 1.
The Scottish Premiership.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. We are focusing on the league action between now and 5:30. At 5:30, 2 games kick off in the quarter-finals of the League Cup. Full commentary to come from Ibrox, Rangers at home to Dundee, and regular updates Aberdeen against Spartans. We'll get Tom English's thoughts in a few minutes' time about events at St Mirren Park. Let's get to the other Premiership game that kicked off today. Ross County at home to St Johnstone, and hear from John Robertson.
Yeah, and it's Ross County 1, St Johnstone 1 at half-time. And it was a very, very even first half for most of it. The first goal coming from Ross County was a mistake from Kilmarnock. Jack Sanders tried to play a straight ball into midfield. The ball was robbed by Nisbet. He played into Ronan Hale, who cut inside and drilled a low right-foot shot past the St Johnstone goalkeeper, Ross Sinclair. And then it was pretty even match, as I said, without St Johnstone really creating much. And then twice in a minute, after 39 minutes and 40 minutes, Ross County could have gone 2 ahead. A deep free kick was met by the head of Akil Wright. His header was knocked off the line by Saunders. It came back to Jordan White, who tried to smash it on the turn from 12 yards. It went over the bar, and just 60 seconds later, Hale was put through with a wonderful ball from Randall. Hale got onto the left-hand side, but dragged his shot past the post. St Johnstone started to play their way into it a little bit, and then they had a decent effort. The ball was put to Sven Spangler. His shot was blocked on the 6-yard line. It came out to Dre Wright about 12 yards out. His shot was deflected wide from the corner. From that corner, Matt Smith put it in. It was headed down to the edge of the box, and there was Dre Wright to drill the ball through a ruck of players to level the scoring. And then the drama wasn't finished there. In the first minute of 2 added times, a long free kick from Ross County went to the box. Ross Sinclair has come 16 yards to punch it, didn't get anywhere near it. Jordan White managed to get there first and head it over him. The keeper clattered into Jordan White. The referee said no penalty, and after a brief VAR check, they agreed with it. That didn't go down well with the county fans, and it did not go down well with Don Cowie, who was right in the fourth official's ear. And St Johnstone survived that scare at half-time. It's Ross County 1, St Johnstone 1.
Thanks to John Robertson. So half-time in the Premiership, Ross County 1, St Johnstone 1, St Mirren 2, Hearts 1. 4 games in the Championship this afternoon. We are at all of them. First stop, the south side of Glasgow, Queen's Park at home to Ayr United. Let's hear from Amy Canavan.
Yes, Kenny, Queen's Park 1, Ayr United 0. Far from a vintage first half at the National Stadium, but the side who are still calling this stadium home, Queen's Park, won't care as they do lead Ayr United by 1-0. It came through an unlikely source, with Cammy Kerr rising highest and unmarked at the back post to meet a deep but rather cracking cross from Roddy McGregor. What a start to the season he is having. A goal which will no doubt frustrate Scott Brown and Stephen Whittaker for sure, as will the lack of chances that honest men have created. The best out of a very sparse bunch came just a few minutes before half-time. Aberdeen loanee Alfie Bavidge rolled the ball for Ben Dempsey, the captain, to fire, though Callum Ferry got down well to tip it round for a corner. Lots to do in the second half for Ayr if they want to leapfrog Falkirk into top spot. Half-time at Hampden, Queen's Park 1, Ayr United 0.
Thank you to Amy. Next stop for Hill, Partick Thistle at home to Dunfermline. Let's hear from Gully Singh.
Thanks, Kenny. Partick Thistle 0, Dunfermline 0. No quality thus far in the first half, with Thistle threatening early on after new loanee signing Kinneil Megwa's floated cross. Tommy Fogarty may well have put it in his own net, with Brian Graham lining up for a header. It was put out for a corner. There was a clash of heads in on 15 minutes involving Harry Milne and Fogarty. The Dunfermline defender received a yellow card. A stop in play, which has pretty much been the story of this first half. Very stop-start. Megwa was then looking to burst forward again. Chris Hamilton impeded him, and he received a yellow on 21 minutes. It was a substitution for the Pars after David Wotherspoon went off with an injury. Matty Todd coming on to replace him. Thistle's Kyle Turner, he delivered a corner. Luke Macbeth found himself in a bit of space. His header just went over the bar. A decent chance for Thistle to test the keeper at least. James McPake's side had their first real effort after around 40 minutes. A Richie Hosler effort just wide of the post. Tommy Fogarty was then brought off for the away side. Sam Fisher brought on. But a real lack of quality here at Firhill. It's Partick Thistle 0, Dunfermline 0.
Thank you to Gully Singh. Let's then get to Kirkcaldy, where Raith Rovers are at home to Hamilton Accies, and hear from Brian McLaughlin.
And they lead by 2-1, Kenny, but they've had to do it the hard way, coming from behind, indeed in behind after just a minute on the clock. And it came from a slack header by Liam Dick into the path of Ollie Shaw. He was bundled to the ground by Kevin Dabrowski. The referee pointed to the spot, and Kevin O'Hara stepped up and fired the ball home. The equaliser came, though, after 15 minutes. A real thing of beauty, this. Lewis Stevenson from 30 yards out, an absolute thunderbolt, giving Dean Lyons no chance at all. Raitho forced into a change. Lewis Vaughan forced off, which looks like another knee injury for the Raith midfielder. His replacement, though, Finlay Pollock, coming on after making the move from Hearts yesterday on loan until January, and it was Pollock who managed to put Raith back in front. A lovely through ball from Dylan Easton. Pollock rounding the goalkeeper before firing the ball beyond Linus into the empty net. Raith on top, they deservedly so, I would say, after opening 45. It's Raith Rovers 2, Hamilton 1.
And our final stop in the championship is Campbell, where Morton are at home to Airdrie. Let's hear from Chick Young.
Kenny, David Martindale, the Livingston manager, just said to me, you managed to stay awake during that first half. I don't think it was that bad, I have to say. Some good football getting played by both sides. 1-0 to Morton. They scored just before half-time. It was a good goal. It was Niall McGinn who put it in the cross, and Zach Delaney with the header, powerful header into the net. Although there was an Airdrie player tried to rattle off the line, just put it into his roof of his own net to make sure that it was Morton who are ahead at half-time. Both teams, of course, anchored at the wrong end of the table here. And I have to say that this lead that they have at the moment, as the table stands, is taking Morton up the division in spectacular fashion. It's a tight lead, this. We talk about that week after week. I think some of the football's been fine in here. We could do with a few goals, to be fair. A couple of saves would help as well. A bit more excitement in the 6-yard box. But I'm a much cheerier man than David Martindale. Half-time is Morton 1, Airdrie 0.
It's the prestige, isn't it? It's to have Scottish football right up there.
This season,
one of the biggest goals in Rangers history!
Can European dreams come true?
And Celtic Park rises in acclaim!
Sports Sound is following Scotland's teams in continental competition.
There is the whistle! Hearts have done it!
And next week, Rangers begin their campaign in the Europa League.
Malmo versus Rangers.
European football lives here.
Thursday from 5.
Listen on digital radio or ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Scotland Extra.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. We've had half-time reports from the top flight and the Championship. In League One, the half-time scores: Alloa Athletic 0, Kelty Hearts 0, Arbroath 0, Annan Athletic 0, Dumbarton 0, Montrose 1, Inverness Cally Thistle 0, Cove Rangers 1, Stennismuir 0, Queen of the South 0, and in League 2 this afternoon, Clyde 0, Elgin City 0, Elgin down to 10 men, East Fife 2, Peterhead 0, Forfar 1, Stranraer 1, Stirling Albion 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 1, and in England the lunchtime kick-off finish: West Ham United 0, Chelsea 3. Half-time scores: Aston Villa 0, Wolves 1, Fulham 2, Newcastle United 0, Leicester City 0, Everton 1, Liverpool 3, Bournemouth 0, Southampton 1, Ipswich Town 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2, Brentford 1. 5:30 start. Crystal Palace at home to Manchester United. So advantage St Mirren in our first commentary of the day. They are up against Hearts this afternoon. Tom English is alongside me in the studio. We spoke before the game, Tom, about really concerning times on the field for Hearts right now, and some of the defending has just been atrocious, hasn't it?
Yeah, the defending for both the goals, both St Mirren's goals were terrible. They just don't look like a team, Hearts. They look so meek. They had their moments early on and then they fell out of it, but they look meek. They're passing the ball out of the pitch. Shankland doesn't exist in this game, and they just look so hesitant, so lacking in confidence. And they're 2-1 down, and St Mirren haven't been great. They haven't had to do a whole lot for a 2-1, but they're ahead. And this Hearts team, they've got some serious issues.
Craig Levine and Stephen Thompson are there for us. In terms of Hearts, Craig, do you see a side, understandably, really lacking in confidence right now?
They started the game fairly well, I felt, and lost the first goal and then managed to get themselves back in the game. And I think with the second goal, it seems to have knocked the stuffing out of Hearts. I don't know why. I don't know why that didn't happen after the first goal. But the latter part of the first half has been really poor.
We spoke before the game, Stephen, about a slow start to the campaign for St Mirren. They've grown into this game. They finished the half very strongly.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, the goals that they've got have come from a corner and from a free kick. From a Hearts point of view, just so bad defensively. St Mirren haven't been brilliant. I think they've been efficient enough. The goal they concede, Stephen Robinson will be pulling his hair out. He said he's worked all week on set plays, and it's actually a really good header from Craig Halkett, but a carbon copy almost of the goal they conceded against Kilmarnock last week. Yeah, I mean, St Mirren will make it very, very difficult for Hearts now in this second half. They've got the lead. What they need to do is make sure that they manage the game better than they did last week when they were 2-1 up at half-time. Hearts, you'd expect, will come out. They've got to try and be a bit more creative. They've got to think. I can't think of Balcom had one save, and it was from Penrice from 30 yards. So Hearts haven't really been peppering St Mirren, putting them under too much pressure, but the same can be said from St Mirren. However, they've got the advantage. They don't really need to go pushing for the next goal. If St Mirren get the third, you can imagine the Hearts fans, loads of them here today, will be very, very unhappy. They booed the team off there at half-time. It's not been a good Hearts performance. It's not been a brilliant game. It's been stop-start, a bit bitty. Not a massive amount of chances, but St Mirren on the driving seat just now.
I mean, you look at the touches. I go back to Shankland, and kind of Shankland is Hearts' problem in microcosm, I think. He's a shadow of the player he was last season, and Hearts are a shadow of the team that they were last season as a consequence. Olasanya's touched the ball 24 times in that first half. Mandron has touched it 18 times. Shankland has touched it 7 times. Wow. He's completely out of it. Mm-hmm. He's just off the pace.
Just not playing to his strengths. I mean, it's hard to go at Shankland, is it not? I mean, if the chances come, Shankland generally takes them.
Yeah, but it's just collective malaise of the team, the collective lack of confidence. I don't know, is he fit? But certainly, absolutely, the creative kind of function in this team has malfunctioned all season.
I mean, John Robertson.
They don't look threatening at all.
I mean, John Robertson, you're obviously at the game in Dingwall for us this afternoon. You're up and running there in the second half. But just in terms of Hearts, because it's a club obviously very close to your heart, and that striking position is one you know as well as anyone. It'll be a tough spell right now for Lawrence Shankland. He knows so much depends on him, but right now he's not doing it, and the team's not doing it.
Yeah, I don't think you can, lay all the blame at Lawrence's door. I don't think anybody's doing that, because, you have to. If you create chances, he'll score goals. There's absolutely no doubt. He's proven that his last 2 seasons have been phenomenal. But strikers do go through dry patches. That's the aspect of it. It's you don't need to. And sometimes if you're just off the boil a wee bit and you're not scoring goals, and the team are looking for you for inspiration, and they will. They'll be looking to Lawrence, but he needs a Blair Spittle to produce a little bit of magic, like he did last year for Motherwell. He'll need a Jan Danda to produce a bit of magic, or Vargas to go and upset teams with his pace to get him into positions, because he's not going to stop scoring completely. He just needs that goal to get going again, and once he gets going again, hopefully he will start to pick up the goals. Hearts will start to pick up points and ultimately move up the table.
Yeah, big second half ahead. Just a reminder, when our 3 o'clock games are done and dusted, our focus switches to the quarter-finals of the League Cup. Commentary from Ibrox, Rangers against Dundee, updates Aberdeen against Spartans. Let's then get back to Paisley for the second half. St Mirren against Hearts with Stephen Thompson, Craig Levine and Liam McLeod.
Changes for both sides. Scott Tanzer is coming on for St Mirren, and he's going to replace Jaden Brown. Meanwhile, Hearts also making a change. Daniel Oyagolke is going to come on for Gerald Taylor. So looks like Vargas might well go out here as a wing back, and Hearts reverting to the 3 at the back. We shall see. It will be the visitors to kick off the second half. And the guys talking about Lawrence Shankland's crucial goals last season, the ones that affected the outcome of games, were worth an extra 18 points to Hearts. which underlines his importance to their third place finish last year, or last term, as Halkett goes long with the right foot, deep into the St Mirren half. His Hearts go left to right in the maroon and white. St Mirren in the black and white stripes, right to left. And it's Hearts on the ball here with Oyegoke, who is just on the pitch there. So I'm not sure, maybe Gerald Taylor just succumbing to that injury towards the end of the first half.
He limped off the pitch, you know, at the end of the first half. Really struggling he was, so it's no surprise to see him come off.
Oyegoke coming on, he can play at right back, so I thought they were going to maybe go to the 3, but it looks as though Craig, he's going to start at right back, is he, at the start of the second half?
Yeah, it looks that way.
And he's comfortable there. Just arrived at Hearts after 3 years at Brentford. He managed to make the bench in a couple of matchday squads there. So, as we did in the first half, we'll keep you up to date with what's going on across the country elsewhere. As St Mirren come forward, the hook ball towards Olasanya. Oyegoke's there for Hearts. He has it, but the flag has belatedly gone up against St Mirren, so it'll be a Hearts free kick for the offside. The assistant over there, Graham McNeely, had the flag up. It's been taken quickly to Kingsley. So St Mirren with a lead. Hearts have found an equaliser once this afternoon. Craig Halkett scoring just their 3rd goal of the season. That is a meagre points return in the middle of September. Their goal return. 2 of them from centre halves as well. Yeah. And they were both in 3-1 defeats as well. As it's picked up by Mandron. Of course, Shutaro Oda scored against Motherwell in the 3-1 loss there. I'm going to go to Capello. There's been a development there. We'll get to that in just a moment. St Mirren on the ball with Tanser. Back to Richard Taylor in the Hearts half. He's got it through to O'Hara. Gets the break of the ball against Oyegoke. Driving into the box. Rolls it back. Looking for Mandron. It's cut out though by Beningame. Did a really good job there. It opened up so well for Mark O'Hara, and the pressure he put on, he'll be feeling he deserved the luck that came with the break of the ball. Saints have it back with Tanser. Turns it back onto halfway for Marcus Fraser. Looks up, right foot clip ball out to this near side. Richard Taylor, it's a poor attempt to control that. Vargas is onto it for Hearts. Rolls it into the midfield, and it's picked up by Spittle. We will go to check in just a moment, but Hearts have it with Penrice. The game opening up here for James Penrice on the left. A low ball, Shanklin inside the box. Forced out of it by Gogic on the far side. Rolls it back onto the touchline. Penrice controls with the undersole. His cross is cut out by Rooney and out for a Hearts throw-in on the far side, which Penrice takes quickly to Spittle. Then back to Penrice. Looks up. His cross is deflected and it's cleared by Gogic, but his ball forward goes straight to Spittle, who rolls it back down the line for Penrice. Sean Rooney for company. Rooney puts it out for a Hearts throw-in as Hearts getting the front foot for the first time in this second half. Chicks at Capello.
It's been a problem this afternoon already for Airdrie. Remember, they're trailing Morton by goal to nil. They've just been taken down to 10 men. Rhys Armstrong, terrible challenge. Second yellow, sent off, and Airdrie down to 10 men. Big problem for Rhys McCabe's side. 1-0 to Morton as well. Yeah,
that's good afternoon for Airdrie. There have been a few of them this season. Hearts have it wide in the right here. Oyegoke level with the St Mirren 6-yard line, right hand side of the box. Back to Boateng. His ball comes into the area. Vargas almost got into it. It was a really good clip by George Grant. They're claiming corner, Hearts, but it will be a Saints goal kick only, and it remains St Mirren 2, Hearts 1. As Hearts spring to life for the first time in the second half.
Yeah, good defended by Rooney there. It was really tight to Vargas and just managed to usher the ball out the field.
Cally Thistle level through James Nolan after Adam Emsley had put Cove Rangers ahead in the first half. Cally Thistle back level in League One at 1 apiece. And that appears to be the only change in the scoring across the SPFL since the last update. Oyegoke has it for Hearts on this near side. Stephen Robinson comes out to the edge of his technical area, desperate to get that first win after 7 without since the opening weekend of the season, when they slayed the other half of the capital here. 3 unanswered goals past Hibernian, and it's going to be a throw in this near side to be taken by Richard Taylor, who gets the ball from Tanser. And it's about midway inside the Hearts half on this near side. bowled in field to Keelan Boyd Muntz. Back to Richard Taylor. Taylor sweeps it to the edge of the D. Mandron goes down to try and control in the slide. He can't get anything on it, and Hearts pick up with Penrice on the left. He certainly looked the most lively of the Hearts players today, James Penrice. Beningame picks up on the halfway line and slides it to the right of the centre circle for Halkett, and then out to Oyegoke on this near side. Low ball, side foot in field to Grant. Marshall by Boyd Muntz. Back to Boateng in his own half to Halkett. Now Grant. Boateng has it in this near side. It's a long ball. The chase is on for Vargas. Taylor trying to get back at him. It's Vargas. Volleys it across goal. And it's just behind Shanklin, who boots the advertising behind Ellery Balcom's goal in frustration, because that wasn't far away. Because if that's at the front of Shanklin, it's straight off the forehead, and it's probably in the back of the net. It ends his goal drought and brings Hearts level. But perhaps the flag's gone up belatedly in any case on this near side.
I think it has, yeah, but I mean, the shape of the cross was wrong from Vargas.
Yeah, it was almost like a shot.
It was, yeah, and Shanklin really had to be absolutely precise with his touch on that to get anything on it to get into the back of the net. So it was a really difficult chance for him.
Shanklin's longest goal drought in a Hearts shirt was 8 games. It happened last season. If he doesn't score today, he'll match that. And here he is, Shanklin trying to ease it through to Vargas, where his pass goes wayward and right through to Balcom. He holds on. You know Lawrence Shanklin, Stephen. He's had frustrating periods in his career. Perhaps one of the most frustrating periods was at St Mirren. Of course, he had a pretty poor time of it at Aberdeen when they brought him in from Queen's Park. How will he be dealing with this on a daily basis?
I think he'll be very confident that the goals will start to return for him. I mean, it's not just the last couple of seasons. You go back 4, 5, 6 seasons, his goal return's been absolutely sensational.
So Lasagna up the other end in the Hearts penalty area, driving towards the byline. Penrice prevents the corner, out for a throw-in to Saints over on that far side. It's a bit level with the Hearts penalty spot.
I think out with his goals, I think he's become a much more accomplished player, an all-round player, certainly from when Adam.
Do you think, Tomo, that he's starting to drift a little bit deeper because he's getting frustrated that he's not getting enough contact on the ball? And just in that last passage of play there, he was back in the midfield looking to get touches.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, obviously Tom pointed out 7 touches in the first half, so he is dropping to try and get more of the ball.
Long throw in from Sean Rooney into the box is defended. It's cleared out to the far side. Back in by Rooney. Low ball cleared by Kingsley, and out for a throw into St Mirren over on that far side. And Hearts attacking the end of the stadium, left to right in the second half, where the visiting fans are bunched in, and it's another excellent away following, despite their ills in the Premiership, but across the board this season. It's been an awful start to the campaign, one of the worst in the club's history. Here comes St Mirren, Mandron, and then Olasanya 6 yards out, lashes well wide. That looked like a huge opportunity for Olasanya. The ball perhaps just got away from him as he went to swing the left boot at it, and it goes behind, and it's going to be a goal kick to Hearts.
Big chance that, Liam. The long throw comes in, Mandron flicks it on. Olasanya's there, very much like his shot from.
They're checking something here, by the way.
All right.
They're checking something. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I'm not sure if they're looking at a possible penalty here, but there is a check underway. Don Robertson, no, game on, checks over, whatever it was.
That was a bit of an anti-climax, Liam.
Well, I'm just passing on any information I may or may have. As Oyegoke plays it forward to Vargas, back to Boateng, to Grant, and now it's with Vargas, shimmies away from Tanzer, wins the free kick. He's taking a sore one, so that gives us time to go to Brian McLaughlin, who's watching that game at Starks Park.
Yeah, Raith now really in control. They lead by 3 goals to 1. Dylan Easton on target. It was a deep cross that possibly was going in. Dean Lyon has parried the ball out, but straight into the path of Easton, who buried it from around 6 yards out. Raith Rovers 3, Hamilton 1.
Here come Hearts down the right-hand side in the Premiership, level with the 6-yard lines. Vargas, his low ball in, takes a deflection. That aids Scott Tanzer's cause as he clears with the left foot. Gordon has it, and he plays it short into the centre circle for Beningame. Out to the left-hand side for Penrice, a long looping ball into the St Mirren box. Richard Taylor decided to leave it. Tanzer doesn't and gets it clear out for a Hearts throw-in on this near side. Still plenty time for the visitors here. They need to get their season going at some point. You cannot imagine that this is going to be a malaise that will continue throughout the campaign. I know it's happened in the recent past, but there were reasons for that, and the coronavirus pandemic, of course, it was a defeat here that ultimately put them down, because St Mirren could have been behind Hearts had Hearts won that game here. It was John Obika scored the only goal just before the first of the national lockdowns. Of course, Hearts, along with Partick Thistle and Stranraer, didn't get the chance to finish the season and retrieve the situation. As Penrice comes down the left-hand side, the cross in is cleared by Gogic, and out it goes for a throw-in over on the far side, level with the 18-yard line of St Mirren for Hearts. I see more of the ball in the attacking third here. It's now with Spittle, little reverse, lever Beningame, comes flush off Beningame's face, headed away by Marcus Fraser, and Alex Gogic will complete the clearance with the right foot. It remains 2-1 to St Mirren here. We're over 10 minutes into the second half. Let's go to the National Stadium. Amy Canavan.
There has been an equaliser here, Liam, for Ayr United, and it's came through Ben Dempsey, who had the best chance in that first half for Ayr. It's a cutback, I believe it's from Dylan Wortred, just sort of down this near right-hand side, but no matter what, it's an absolutely ferocious strike on the turn from Ben Dempsey, firing it right into the top corner, and Ayr United are level and heading top of the championship as well. As Queen's Park 1, Ayr United 1 after 58 minutes here.
And there's been quite the development in Dingwall, John Robertson.
It's a goal for the visitors. It's Ross County 1, St Johnstone 2. St Johnstone have come out the traps in the second half very well, and the pace of Mackenzie Kirk has given them all sorts of problems, and that's where the goal come from. It was a break from middle of park. Matt Smith played Mackenzie Kirk through. There was two Ross County players slid in. One got the ball and one didn't. Which one I'm not too sure, but the referee gave a free kick 20 yards out and booked Casper Lapota. From the free kick, Nicky Clark stood up and smashed it low and hard to the keeper's side, right into the side net to send the 247 Saints fans delirious. It's Ross County 1, St Johnstone 2.
Penny for the thoughts of the man sitting 2 to my left.
I'm delighted, that's what.
There's Oyegoke, crosses in, flicked away, it's only to the edge of the area. Beningame goes down, the challenge from Phillips, no free kick, right on the edge of the box. Here's Boateng, Hearts pushing St Mirren here, that's a good ball from Oyegoke, and they're screaming for a penalty. Vargas has gone down. The referee's not interested right now, and it will be a goal kick only for St Mirren. We played 57, St Mirren 2. Hearts 1, and just a reminder there, if you missed it, Ross County 1, St Johnstone 2 in Dingwall in the 2 Premiership matches taking place today. It was a fabulous ball in.
It was some ball in from Oyegoke, it really was, into such a dangerous area. Vargas was trying to kind of say that he was being pulled by Rooney, I think it was, at the far post. He goes to ground, but I don't even know if there's been a check, Liam. I don't think there has, or there will have been checked.
No,
but
game on here.
Indeed.
Alloa 1, Kelty Hearts 0 in League 1. I'll run through all the score lines when we get a suitable break in play here. East Fife 2, Peterhead 0, Forfar 2, Stranraer 1 now in League 2. The other score lines elsewhere look as though they are sitting where they were last time we went through them, but I will go through the score lines. You can get them at any time at bbc.co.uk/sportscotland if you have access to do that. Not quite able to do that if you're out and about in the cars across the country, as Richard Taylor slips it out to Tanzer on the near side. St Mirren with a 2-1 lead. It's been a better spell from Hearts, Craig Levine, just in the last maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes.
More control of the game, and more passes, and been a little bit more composed in possession than they were previously, resulting in crosses but not in finishing.
Yeah. It's only a matter of time before one of these balls in finds Shankland. You would have to admit to that. This can't go on for much longer. And Hearts, as I said, they're so reliant on him to finish third as easily as they ultimately did last season because of his goals. He said 18 extra points, and as a result of goals that led to Hearts winning matches or even coming back and getting draws, as Halkett nods it back under pressure from Alessania to his goalkeeper. So Brendan Rodgers praising Daizen Maida's pressing in his media conference yesterday. Alessania does that pretty well for St Mirren, as well as Beningame picks up and finds Boateng out to Grant on this near side. Oyegoke at close quarters, turns it back to Boateng, stabs it back out to Oyegoke on this near side. O'Hara with a challenge, and it's out for a Hearts throw-in on this near side. Just a little sense St Mirren are trying to weather a bit of a storm here. As Beningame gets onto the throw-in from Oyegoke on this near side, under pressure from Phillips, back to Boateng, who goes back to Halkett, who shifts it right to left of the circle for Kingsley. Out to that far side, it's Spittle. Penrice has gone into a very advanced position down the left wing. Spittle onto it again, rolls it back to Kingsley, who squares it to Halkett. Oh, by Craig Halkett. He's fired that directly into the main stand just below us, right as we ticked on to the hour mark in Paisley, where it's St Mirren 2, Hearts 1.
There must be somebody in the stand down there he doesn't like. I don't know what he was trying to do there, but
he wasn't under any pressure either, really. And it's another unforced error from a Hearts player, and there's been plenty of those this season. O'Hara wins it off Grant in the midfield, and he can release it out to the right for Rooney, who's on to it now, and he's trying to step forward over on the right hand side, gets the cross ball in. Olasanya, it's just behind him, it's headed behind for the corner by Halkett. St Mirren corner. Stephen Naismith down there, hands in pockets, turning away back to the dugout. He knows how dangerous this could be.
Yeah, it was a good ball in from Sean Rooney. It looked as though Olasanya was going to go on the end of it. In the end, it was Halkett who wins the header, but he can only put it behind for a corner. As Stephen Naismith shouts to his substitutes bench to get in. Looks like Oda's going to come on.
Yeah, Drama as well, perhaps. Will be coming on shortly. In comes the corner, it's headed for goal, and it's just crept past the near post there. It's another really nervy moment for the Hearts defence, though. That was fired in at real pace.
it was hard to tell if the ball was actually in the net or not. It just gone past the near post. And
that's why I strung the words out as long as I possibly could to work that out. But you could normally tell there was no roar.
No. It was a great ball in, though, wasn't it?
Really good ball, well attacked by Gogic at the near post. Just the wrong side of the net for him.
You will get the team news, incidentally, for the League Cup quarter-finals, which are coming up, 2 of them at 5:30. There's commentary from Ibrox as Rangers play Dundee. Aberdeen are hosting bottom-tier Spartans as well at Pittodrie. A little look at the Aberdeen team. They've gone very strong today. I did wonder if Jimmy Telleen would rest a few who are on yellow cards and would miss a potential semi-final should Aberdeen go through, and maybe yellow carded today. As Olasanya's trip just outside the centre circle, it's going to be a free kick to St Mirren just inside their own half. And of course Spartans are flying the flag for Edinburgh in the last 8 of the League Cup, with Hearts and Hibs both out as Hearts make the change, Craig, and Yutaro Oda is going to replace Vargas, who's at he's tried to get into the game, but it's been very difficult for him.
Yeah, he's had flashes, hasn't he? Some moments that look quite promising. Who's it? Oda that's coming on, is it? Yeah. I don't really know an awful lot about him, actually.
Well, he's coming on to try and make some kind of impact here, and Hearts need someone to make an impact, particularly in that attacking third. He came in from Vissel Kobe, played with Kyogo at that club before he arrived at Hearts. Of course, Kyogo arrived at Celtic before that. But he was a teammate of Kyogo's there, and Kyogo wasn't even the best player he played with in that team, because another teammate was a certain Andres Iniesta, and he wasn't bad.
Not bad.
Halkett rolls it back to Gordon, who smashes it forward with the left foot into the centre circle, comes off the head of Fraser to the right there for Rooney. Long ball from him, but that's pretty aimless, and it's annoyed his manager, who makes his way back to his dugout, and it's with Stephen Robinson. And then Kingsley rolls it out to that far side to Penrice, down the line, gets it back from Spittle, rolls it back to Kingsley, takes a step in away from Mandron, who's trying to bite back at him, but Kingsley has it and squares it to Boateng, out to Oyegoke on the near side. Chip ball forward looking for Oda, but he's put it straight to Taylor, and St Mirren have it back. And here is Tanzer, 64 minutes on the clock, still St Mirren leading by 2-1. Killian Phillips has it on the slide, goes Beningame, gets enough of the ball, gets it back to one of his teammates, picked up by Spittle, then Beningame is his jersey pulled. That'll be a yellow card for Keelan Boyd-Muntz here, being watched by his national manager Michael O'Neill, who's a few seats off to our left. Let's go and get the team news from Ibrox. All Premiership collision in the quarter-finals of the League Cup. Alistair Lamont is going to be watching Rangers Dundee.
Hi Liam, yeah, 3 changes for Rangers. Sterling Tierney and a first start for Bayrami, coming in for Diamondi, Dowell and Cortez. So it's Butland in goal, Tavernier, Suter, Proper and Jefty.
Sterling and Barron, Cherny, Lawrence, Bayrami and Dessers up front. 4 changes for Dundee: Carson, McGee, Adewumi, he also makes his first start for Dundee. Braybrook are in. Out go McCracken, Ingram, Mulligan, Palmer, Holden, and that's the 4 changes for them. So it's Carson, McGee, Portales, Kumetio and Larkesh. Adewumi, Silla, Cameron and Braybrook, with Tiffany supporting Murray up front.
Ivano Benetti was the Dundee manager the last time they won against Rangers at Ibrox. With more success against them at Dens as they look to try and get themselves into the semis, where their neighbours United couldn't last night. The Motherwell management team are off to our left. Stevie Frail alongside Stuart Kettlewell watching this game here, as the long ball from Marcus Fraser from the throw-in over on the far side. Motherwell already through, so they can sit and relax, knowing that they are going to Hampden. That Lennon Miller late penalty yesterday. I'll get you the news from Pittodrie in just a moment, as Fraser was back to Balcombe. He'll then chip the ball out to this left-hand side. It's Tanzer, a poor touch. It's actually worked in his favour. Went behind Boateng, and it's Boyd Muntz knocking it through. Olasanya chasing, Halkett covering, and Gordon holding at the edge of his own box onto the ball. And he underarm bowls it Toyagoke on the near side. 66 on the clock. St Mirren 2, Hearts 1.
Hearts are struggling to create opportunities, aren't they? They've had more of the ball in the second half, but they really aren't getting into the final third with any purpose. Certainly, early Balcombe's been a very quiet afternoon. 1 shot, I think, to save. They need to do more, Hearts, in the final third.
I'm not actually sure what system they're playing at the moment either. It looks as if Grant's playing an advanced role.
Long ball from Craig Gordon up to halfway. Tanzer wins the header. Mandron was coming back from a offside position, so it comes all the way through to Craig Gordon. Let's get it back up to Dingwall. Really intriguing game there. Last time we heard from John Robertson, St Johnstone had gone 2-1 up against Ross County.
Yeah, we're 70 minutes in and it's still 2-1 to the visitors. Ross County have reacted. They've thrown on Eamon Brophy, Michael Affetti and Aidan Denham. Jordan White has come off alongside James Brown and Conor Randall. But St Johnstone have also made a couple of changes as well, with Kelchins and Carey coming on and Smith and Raymond gone off. But it's a much more even game. No real major chances since that Nicky Clark free kick, but it's the visitors that are holding on to Levi, 2-1.
We're through the championship in just a moment as we try and keep you up to date with everything going on across the SPFL this afternoon. Richard Taylor has taken a bit of a knock there. Let's then use this time to go to Amy Canavan, who's watching that match between Queen's Park and Ayr United. Amy.
I am, Liam, where it does still remain Queen's Park 1, Ayr United 1, but really it should be Queen's Park 1, Ayr United 2. Roy Sealer, the substitute, with an outstanding effort, cracked off the crossbar, bounced off it, he almost caught it too sweetly, hence why it didn't dip in time, but it was fierce, it was ferocious, but it just did not dip, and it does remain Queen's Park 1, Ayr United 1, 70 minutes played.
St Mirren are going to make a double change in just a moment. Gully Singh is watching Partick Thistle, Dunfermline. Gully.
Yes, Liam, still Partick 0, Dunfermline 0. Sam Fisher, though, almost opened the scoring for Dunfermline on 60 minutes. It was a cross in from Ngwenya. Fisher looked to have picked his spot with a header. Bottom left, Miles Robert could only look on in the Thistle goal, but the header was also close, just an inch wide. But you feel whoever gets the next goal will go on to take all 3 points, but still Partick Thistle 0, Dunfermline 0.
Olasanya and Mandron coming off, James Scott, Van Veen coming on, Oisin Smith's going to be on as well, and he's going to replace Boyd Muntz. So those are the 3 changes for Saints. Jan Danda's coming on for Hearts as well. Stephen Thompson.
Yeah, I think obviously the Boyd Muntz one, he was on a yellow card, wasn't he, after that pull back just a few moments ago, and Stephen Robinson not taking any risks with him. Oisin Smith will come on for him. The front two, just a bit of freshness. I'm keen to. It's actually not. It's not Boyd Muntz. It's Killian Phillips, is it?
Spittle is going to come off for Hearts. Danda will replace him, and it is Killian Phillips who's coming off.
It looked like it was going to be Boyd Muntz. He came over to the touchline, but anyway, it's Killian Phillips.
Right.
Yeah, I'm keen to see what Van Veen's got to offer.
Yeah, he didn't score at all in his loan spell at Kilmarnock last season. Smith comes on for Phillips. So, Kirkcaldy, Brian McLaughlin.
They still lead by 3 goals to 1, just over 20 minutes left for play. One half chance coming for Aki's Jaume Burjonis, with a shot from 25 yards, well saved by Dabrowski in the Rovers goal. Wraith in control, they lead by 3-1.
And Chick is watching Morton Airdrieonians at Cappielow.
Yeah, it's still 1-0 to Morton. Remember, Airdrie down to 10 men, 2 yellow cards for Reece Armstrong. He was sent off. Still that goal from Jack Delaney giving Morton the lead. I think they're worth it. I think they're heading towards all 3 points. But you know what? I've been wrong before, Liam. 1-0 to the Ton.
Have you? Have you indeed? Can't have to check back. I can't believe that. League One, Alloa 1, Kelty 0, Arbroath 1, Annan 0, Dumbarton 0, Montrose 1, Callithistle 1, Cove Rangers 1, goalless Stenhousemuir against Queen of the South. So that Arbroath goal has just gone in. They've just scored at Gayfield against Annan, so they lead 1-0 to the Lichties. In League 2, Clyde are goalless with Elgin, East 5-2, Peterhead 0, Forfar Athletic 2, Stranraer 1, Stirling Albion 0, Bonnyrigg 1 remains the scoreline in that one. Here in Paisley, St Mirren have a 2-1 lead, which they've had since the break. Oyagoke with a throw-in for Hearts. Infield to Grant, just about the midway point of the St Mirren half. A chip ball, Oda gives chase, Gogic lost him there, but it comes bouncing through to Ellery Balcom, who holds on. And right now, I mean, there's less than 20 minutes of the 90 to play. Hearts are staring directly down the barrel at an 8th successive defeat, which is remarkable.
It's quite incredible, and there's nothing to suggest, certainly not in this second half, that they're going to get an opportunity to score a goal. Really lacking ideas when they get into St Mirren's final third.
It's the second time it's happened in the club's history if they lose this one. There's Tanzer down the left, cross ball into the box, just kind of bounces off Smith and behind for the goal kick to Hearts.
Maybe they need to give Danda more opportunities. I mean, he is somebody who can create opportunities for strikers, and I'm sure that with his skill and ability, he's somebody who I'm sure could benefit Shankland in particular.
Well, he's on the ball just now. Danda rolls it back to halfway for Kingsley. He squares it to Craig Halkett. He'll roll it out to this near side for Boateng as the sun breaks through the clouds. It's shining right down on us here as Oda tries to cross in. He's managed to get it to Shankland via deflection. Shankland loses out to a combination of Gogic.
See these late flags, they absolutely drive me crazy.
It was Boyd Muntz as well. Boyd Muntz looked as though he was coming off, but in the end they ultimately took Killian Phillips off. Boyd Muntz still on the...
That one was at least 10 seconds after. Anyway.
It's frustrating for us watching, but no, as a player you'd be furious, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
Well, what's it like as a manager?
When I was playing.
I mean, you just know it's offside sometimes, and you just put your flag up. You know, it's simple.
Of course, they've got to let the move come to its conclusion in an attacking sense, in case it goes in, and it turns out it's so tight that he's actually onside. So frustrating, yes. Necessary, yes. Van Veen picks up for St Mirren, who are up the pitch here outside the Hearts box. Van Veen out to this left-hand side. Tanzer swung into the box by O'Hara. Hearts clear. Goes off the head of Boyd Muntz. Heads it towards the Hearts box. Down goes Van Veen, no free kick. O'Hara's onto it. He heads it forward. Headed away by Halkett. Headed forward by Taylor. Now it's with Scott, who picks up. Just runs into Halkett, and the flag goes up on the far side, right on cue, after what the guys have just been talking about.
Yeah, it's got a wee bit scrappy. St Mirren haven't really, I'm talking about Hearts, not really looking like a goal threat. St Mirren haven't either in the second half, but they've not had to. They've got the goal advantage, and it's Hearts that really need to push, and we're heading into probably what will be the last 20 minutes of the game with added on time. I can't see any signs of Hearts doing anything creatively that's going to get them this opportunity.
Yeah, it doesn't mean they won't though, and it's Oyagoke on it on this near side, long ball into the St Mirren box, but it's gone right through to Balcom, and listen to that.
Yeah, I mean, I could see what he was trying to do. He was trying to play the ball down the channel, but those balls have to stay away from the 18-yard box, because the goalkeeper can just come and pick them up. So it was a poor execution. You could understand he was trying to play the ball down the channel.
Long ball forward then by Balcom, comes off the head of Penrice, who heads it out for a Saints throw-in on the far side. St Mirren have been relatively comfortable in the second half. You see Stephen Robinson and Brian Kerr down there in the home technical area, and the Saints boss having a swig of his water bottle as he makes his way to the edge of his technical area again. as it's taken short on the far side to Scott by Fraser, but they've given it away and Hearts have it back, and it's slipped out to Oyegoke on the near side. He turns away from Van Veen, who did a good job of putting enough pressure to ensure that the early ball wasn't released. It's Kingsley, low ball down the left-hand touchline. Penrice leaves it for Danda, drops the shoulder and skips infield. Rolls it into the centre circle for Halkett. Out on this near side for Oyegoke. Infield to Danda. The Hearts fans, though, making it clear what they think of their manager right now, which I'm sure, Craig, isn't nice to hear.
What made you think people are singing that to me?
I didn't say that, but when I look at the two of you at my left, you're the one with the experience in that, are you not?
Yeah, listen, it's never nice. I mean, it's actually worse. I think the first time it happened to me, I was at Cowdenbeath, and they were singing. There was about 6 fans singing "You Don't Know What You're Doing," and they're probably right at the time.
Even as far back as then, you are getting stick.
Yeah, it's just part of the job, isn't it?
Grant goes down, claims he was obstructed. He's not getting a free kick. It was strong defending by Taylor, and it was behind for the goal kick. I mean, as Liam Boyce comes on, Stephen Naismith throwing Boyce on, and Alan Forrest's going to come on as well. This isn't going to take much now to go nuclear as far as Hearts are concerned.
Yeah, the fans are on the edge, aren't they? You can see they're very unhappy with this afternoon's performance, and no wonder the performance has been poor, but add that to 5 straight defeats in the league. This will be a 6th, then you can understand why they're voicing their opinions.
I mean, their main rivals, you would think, and Hibs would love to be included in this, but Aberdeen, the main rivals. As it stands, Aberdeen will be 14 points clear with a game in hand after 6 games for Hearts, Aberdeen having only played 5.
I can't see that being clawed back,
no,
can you?
It won't be.
Long ball, Saints chasing with Van Veen on the right. He decides to volley for goal. He's not far away. That's what he's capable of. Thumbs up for the ball. Really good ingenuity there by Kevin Van Veen with that wonderful 28-goal season at Motherwell 2 campaigns ago. And he's fired that across the face, a goal wide on the other side. But it was enough to spook Craig Gordon into diving for it. Stays Saints 2, Hearts 1 on 77.
It was all he had on. He was at such a wide angle and there was no support up beside him.
Here come Hearts though, bouncing ball, favours Boyce, now with Danda, the 2 former county players. Headed clear though. Boateng heads it forward, but it's straight to Tanzer, who clears with the left foot. High into the Hearts half. Oyegoke challenged by Van Veen, and it breaks Craig Halkett's way, and he rolls it to the left for Kingsley. Long left-footed ball, Shankland's on his bike. Gogic goes to cover, Shankland's onto it, rolls it out to Forrest. Forrest taking on Gogic, little back heel. Kingsley, left-footed cross, comes into a good one. Headed away by Tanzer, it's not decisive. O'Hara on the penalty spot, nods it outside his box. Van Veen with a really clever little flick for Keelan Boyd-Muntz. He's got James Scott off to the right. Beningame slides in, brings him down. Yellow card coming for Beningame. It's going to be a St Mirren free kick, but if Boyd-Muntz was able to release James Scott there on the right, he might well have been in.
He should have done it earlier. He took an extra touch and invited the tackle from Beningame. Beningame had no option really other than to make the foul at that stage, because it was a 2v2. A good foul if there ever is such a thing. He's in the referee's book, but he stopped the counter-attack.
Sports Sound here, BBC Radio Scotland. Stephen Naismith reaction to come, Stephen Robinson reaction as well. Of course, we will be very quickly into the Cup quarter-finals. Aberdeen Spartans, Rangers Dundee. Commentary from Ibrox to come in the latter part of the programme today. Here comes St Mirren into the Hearts box. It's hooked over the head, and it was by James Scott, and he almost managed to find Smith. Hearts emerged with it on the left-hand side with Forrest. And they've got just over 10 of the 90 left to try and save this, have the visitors.
You see more of St Mirren than me, Tomo, but I'm always impressed by Gogic. He's 7 out of 10 every time I see him, whether he's in midfield or whether he plays in the back line.
Yeah, he had a couple of not so good performances earlier this season, but he's actually, he's an ever-present first name in the team sheet. And he's just such a competitor. He's the sort of guy you probably wouldn't enjoy playing against, you know. He wants to win every ball.
Yeah, I'm watching Shankland, and he's following Shankland everywhere.
Yeah. Hearts have it, long ball from Kingsley. Shankland's going to chase it. Fraser's there first though for St Mirren, and the flag's gone up anyway. I'll bring you the Aberdeen team news. I'm still waiting for Spartans, but I'll bring you the Aberdeen team news after we've checked in with Brian McLaughlin at Starks Park again.
Yeah, Hamilton are back in this. It's now Wraith Rovers 3, Hamilton 2. Connor Smith on target. It was a nothing ball into the box. Smith swung his leg at it. It seemed to take a deflection on the way, but he's certainly claiming the goal as the ball ended up beyond Dabrowski and nestled in the bottom corner of the goal. Wraith Rovers 3, Hamilton 2.
There's been a goal in Dingwall as well in the match between Ross County and St Johnstone.
And it's deja vu for St Johnstone. It's Nicky Clark again and another free kick. And if you think his first free kick was good, where he went to keeper's side, this one is even better. He's 25 yards out, he's centre the goal, he's gone over the wall in the top left-hand corner. The goalkeeper, Ross Laidlaw, has absolutely no chance. It flew into the top corner. Ross County 1, St Johnstone 3.
The famous new manager bounce as St Mirren prepare to take the corner. He's genuinely delighted, Craig. He's got a big smile on his face. Andy Kirk looking to land the job as Craig's replacement as O'Hara prepares to take the in-swinging corner for St Mirren into towards the back post. Flicked away by Halkett. Breaks to the edge of the area. Tanzer tries to volley for goal. It's blocked. Headed away by Boateng. And then Oda looked like he was having his shirt pulled there by Boyd Muntz, but he's managed to release Shankland, and now it's with Boyce. Pushes it forward to Forrest. Danda to the right. We're in the final 10 of the 90 here. St Mirren leading 2-1. Danda crosses. Shankland heads it back. Boyce is his back to goal. It just wouldn't fall for him. He's gone down. The Hearts supporters want a penalty. Don Robertson isn't interested. And Gogic comes away with it for Saints down that right-hand side. Under pressure from Beningame, he wins it back. It's good play by Beningame, but then he runs into trouble. It goes out of play. It's off a Saints player. Last sees the referee. And Hearts have a throw-in just beyond the midway point of St Mirren territory over on that far side.
It was Hearts' best passage of football in the second half. They moved the ball quickly, slickly out to this right-hand side. Cross into the back post. Lawrence Shankland headers it back down into the middle of the box. Boyce was there trying to back in. Wasn't a foul for me.
No, I think it was good defending, actually.
Long ball into the box. Oh, Boyce has beaten Balcom to it. Shankland almost got onto it. He's gone down. They want a penalty here as well. They're not getting one initially. And it's back with Ellery Balcom. Well, St Mirren looking like a bit 6s and 7s at the back there. We've played almost 82. St Mirren 2, Hearts 1.
Well, Balcom comes for it, doesn't get it. It falls at Lawrence Shankland's feet. He takes a touch on his knee and he's clattered into the Tanzer. Presuming it will be checked.
Another goal at Capello, Chick Young.
Morton have their hands in all 3 points. I'm absolutely sure about that, Liam. I did promise you such. They are 2-0 ahead now. What a goal it was, though, from Cammy Ballantyne. Ferocious drive from just inside the box. Murray Johnson in the Airdrie goal had no chance with that. Delaney scored the first, Ballantyne the second. Airdrie down to 10 men. Rhys Armstrong sent off. That's the state of play with a minute to go.
Well, Aberdeen fans on their way to Pittodrie getting frustrated. I will bring you the team news in just a moment if you've not got it already, but there's been another goal in Dingwall, John Robertson.
Well, we're waiting on the VAR check at the moment, but if it doesn't come, Alex Samuel has headed the ball at the net. It was a good move down the right. Ian Denham whipped it in. Alex Samuel got to it first and it's headed past Ross Sinclair. The goal has been given. It's Ross County 2,
There's a chance for
St Johnstone 3.
Van Veen, no, he almost finished it off. Stephen Kingsley with a woeful square ball across his own half. Van Veen latched onto it, drove towards the edge of the box, but he's pulled it wide of the left-hand post, and it stays St Mirren 2, Hearts 1, as Saints prepare to bring Adowu onto the pitch for Boyd Muntz. Stephen Thompson, that would have won it.
And it's an awful pass from Hearts. He picks the ball up just about the halfway line, drives. He's got Oyegoki to beat. He does a lovely wee bit of skill, puts it past Oyegoki. He's got the goal gaping at his mercy. 18 yards out. He probably could have taken it a bit further in if he wanted to. He takes his shot on. Got to hit a target, I'm afraid.
Great opportunity for Van Veen, that's for sure. As far as Aberdeen are concerned, just the one change today by Jimmy Tellene. Leighton Clarkson comes in. It's his first start since he returned from that shoulder injury. Topi Keskinen has dropped out. Graham Shinney returns to the squad. He's on the bench. It's Aberdeen with Mitov in goal, Devlin, Rubidzic, Malloy, McKenzie as Hearts come forward down the left-hand side for Shankland, and he puts it wide, toes it past the right left-hand post under pressure from Gogic.
It looked like a corner to me.
It's a goal kick, it's been given. Shankland's got his arms outstretched, running at Don Robertson, asking for the corner, and he gets a yellow card for his troubles.
It was a corner.
Right, hold on. Right, so Aberdeen, Mitov in goal, Devlin, Rubidzic, Malloy, McKenzie, Palaversa, Nielsen, Clarkson, Gay, McGrath, and Nisbet is the Don starting 11. I haven't quite managed to get the Spartans team. In fact, here it is: Blair Carswell in goal, Booth, Waugh, Dishington, Hunter, Henderson, Russell, Sonker, Cragen, White and Watson. That's the team news from Pittodrie.
Shankland picking up a booking there for protesting at the fact he thought it was a corner. I thought it was a corner. I thought it was a brilliant tackle from Gogic, in all honesty.
Still St Mirren with a 2-1 lead. Both teams trying to get something here. It's Saints down the right-hand side. And there's a couple waiting in the middle of the dough. It's good play from him. Right foot, the cross was poor though. Although Tanzer might keep it in play over on this left-hand side down by the corner flag. It's the left foot ball in. Van Veen gets there ahead of Oyegoke. Back to O'Hara, who lashes it so far wide it's gone out for a throw-in by the corner flag over on the far side. It stays Saints 2, Hearts 1. We're in the final 5 of the 90 here in the Premiership then. 2-1 here to Saints. Ross County 2, St Johnstone 3. In the Championship, Morton 2, Airdrieonians 0. Goalless Partick, Thistle, Dunfermline. Queen's Park 1, Ayr United 1. Raith Rovers 3, Hamilton 2. That's the 2 top tiers. Into League 1, Alloa 1, Kelty Hearts 0. They're into stoppage time there, as they are across many of the games. Arbroath are 2-0 up now on Annan at Gayfield. Dumbarton 0, Montrose 1. Cali Thistle 1, Cove Rangers 1. Stennismere 0, Queen of the South 0. And in League 2, the 4 matches being played: Clyde 0, Elgin 0, East 5-2, Peterhead 0, Forfar 2, Stranraer 1, and Bonnyrigg Rose have gone 2-0 up at Forth Bank against Stirling Albion. That's you up to date. As I said, you get the full-time scores, bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland, the results programme on the telly, highlights of this game and the match in Dingwall. 2 entertaining games, I think it's fair to say. We'll be on Sports Scene 7:15, a half-hour programme tonight on the BBC Scotland channel. Here come Hearts with Oda down the right, desperate to try and get something out of this game. Their only points so far in the league came in the opening day after what was a pretty impressive performance against Rangers. The roof has caved in since then though. If they lose this, it's an 8th defeat on the bounce. And it's Oda for Hearts, loses out but gets it back despite being on the ground to Shankland. Gogic gets there ahead of Danda, and it's out of play for a throw-in on this near side. Oyegoke's going to take it. The Hearts fans, in fairness, have stayed packed in behind Balcom's goal. Oyegoke with the throw-in. It's headed away by Smith. Might break back to Oyegoke on this near side. Looking to get some space. He's wriggled himself away free of O'Hara, but not of Tanzer, who he runs into. And Tanzer boots the ball to safety. We're in the 88th minute. St Mirren protecting the 2-1 lead, and what a precious win it would be for Saints, who themselves hadn't won in 7 coming into this one. Here's Jan Danda for Hearts. Got space across the halfway line he goes, driving forward all the way to the edge of the box, rolls it to the left of it for Forrest. Forrest now taking on Rooney. He's inside the area, down to the byline, looks to cross, wins the corner off the defender. It was Fraser. Hearts desperately hunting this equaliser. As it stands, there's going to be 4 minutes added on top of the 90. And we're into the final couple of minutes. It's been a goal at Firhill. We'll go to that in a moment. Hearts of a corner. Danda takes very deep, looking for Shankland. Balcom diving and clawing it behind. Gully quickly, Partick Thistle.
Yeah, Liam, it's Partick Thistle 1, Dunfermline 0. Aidan Fitzpatrick with a left-footed shot inside the box to put it past the keeper. It looks like Partick Thistle are about to collect their second win of the season. Only a few minutes to go here at Firhill.
Talking about priceless goals. Here come Hearts. Forrest with it. It's flicked back towards the 18-yard line. Oda on the volley. It's wide. It's high. It's not a million miles away, but it's gone well past enough for Balcom not to be threatened by it as we tick towards minute 90. And Craig Levine with Hearts just 5 minutes left to save themselves, and in all kinds of bother at the bottom of the table.
Yeah, and there's a definite lack of confidence in the team. You can see that, and when that happens, the team, you just tend not to get the breaks going your way. So both of these things have happened for Hearts today, and they're going to have to claw their way out of this. There's no other solution.
Balcom taking his time over the goal kick, much to the annoyance of the Hearts fans behind them. We take a draw now. They desperately need a win, but they'll take a draw now. There's Beningame. Forward it comes. Onto the chest of Danda on the halfway line. Just turns away from Gogic, looks ahead of him. Oda's on his bike down this right-hand side. Tanzer's the covering player, and he does well. Scott Tanzer, he's controlled it with his head, and he's taken up the line. He's been really good since coming on at the break.
He has.
And then O'Hara's fouled by Danda, and that will be a free kick. Next up for Hearts, they're at home to Ross County next week. Then it's Dinamo Minsk. They have to play that game in Azerbaijan. They're going to fly directly to Aberdeen, apparently, for the league game at Pataudry. And after that, it's St Mirren again, because of course this game was meant to be played in December. It's been brought forward because they had a spare weekend, quite clearly, and it's always busy in December, so it benefited both clubs to play it now as we go into stoppage time. And it's a long ball from Balcom. I suppose when you're losing games, not playing particularly well, every game's a difficult one. There's Danda's header into the midfield. It's gone straight to Dowu, though. Goes back to Smith. Long ball, right-footed out to Van Veen. Couldn't quite control. Oh, yeah, goalkeeper company. Van Veen's got it back, though. He's done really well there. Van Veen goes out to play for a throw.
Oh, no,
it's eventually gone to St Mirren's.
Terrible decision. It was definitely a Hearts throw. I don't know how the linesman and the referee got that wrong there.
They clearly
They're looking right at it. I just don't understand.
But they clearly, you could tell there was a bit of hesitancy in making the decision. So it could be they've just looked at that and thought, well, you've got the better view of it, so we'll go with that. So it's picked up down by the corner flag by St Mirren. Here's Van Veen, another goal. They win this game. They might be winning it anyway. Back to the edge of the box. A foul by O'Hara and Danda. And Hearts have a free kick just outside their own box. We played a minute and a half of the 4 that were added. Hearts on the brink of their latest loss. What's been a horrendous start to the season. Out of the Europa League, out of the League Cup, bottom of the Premiership. It doesn't get worse than that. Here's Forrest. Forrest with a switch of play from left to right along the edge of the St Mirren box. He's found Oda. Tanzer for company. Oda finds Shanklin, tries to return the favour. It's blocked by Taylor, who clears. Now away it goes, and James Scott might get onto this. Craig Gordon's come a long way from home. He slides, but fortunately for him, Scott's put it out for a throw-in on this near side. Another goal in Dingwall. Wow, John Robertson.
Yep, it's an equaliser for Ross County. There's 9 minutes of injury time, and they got a free kick about 35 yards out. It was thrown to the back post. Beyond everybody.
John Sorry, it's a chance here for St Mirren, looking for a third. What a save by Gordon to deny it. Dowu, who smashed it with the left foot just outside the penalty spot. Gordon with a wonderful piece of goalkeeping to just about keep Hearts beating. But as you heard there from John Robertson, Ross County have come from 2 down to get back to 3-3 against St Johnstone. They were 3-1 down, and they are summoning the spirit of that playoff final against Partick Thistle at the end of the season before last. But that's a real opportunity there for the Dowu, and that's vintage
really
Gordon.
Well. Yeah, he did really well, cut inside. He probably could have got shot off a wee bit earlier than he did. He eventually does hit it. It was straight at Gordon, but he still had to tip it over. St Mirren taking as long as they want with this corner.
Yeah, they've taken it short, just trying to run the clock down. We are in the final minute of the 4 that were added on at the end of this. It's gone out for a throw over on the far side for St Mirren, and Hearts. The ball is exactly where they do not want it to be. There's been another goal late on at Starks Park. Brian, quickly, we're in the final minute here.
It's an equaliser for Hamilton. Ollie Shaw. Hamilton bombarding the Wraith defence for the last few minutes. Ollie Shaw with an overhead kick that beat Dabrowski. Incredible scenes here at Starks Park. Wraith Rovers 3, Hamilton 3.
Wow, some comebacks this afternoon across the board. The full-time whistle's going. And a substantial amount of stoppage time at the end of the first as we have at the end of the second here as it goes out for another throw-in on the far side, this time to Hearts, but that's the final whistle! 7 games without a win. St Mirren come up with 3 points. 3 massive points for Stephen Robinson and for his players after a really poor run. And ultimately it's their man of the season so far, I suppose, Tayusi Olisanya, who's made the difference. They led 2-1 at the break. That after Craig Halkin had cancelled out the Gerald Taylor own goal. And Olisanya popped up, he was onto the Phillips flick and he rifled it into the top right corner of the net. And it's given St Mirren a huge 3 points here, as I say, after 7 games without. And they've come up with a win. They didn't really, in truth, have to deal with a whole lot in the second half defensively. Balcombe was way too underworked for the Hearts supporters' liking, as St Mirren fire themselves up to 5th spot in the league. That moves them into that position tonight, but for Hearts, well, 12th spot still, bottom of the table, and in all kinds of trouble by the look of things. It's an 8th successive defeat. The club record's 10. This is their second worst losing run in the club's long history. Out of the League Cup, out of the Europa League, bottom of the Premiership. Their worst points return to their opening set of league fixtures since the turn of the previous century. And the Hearts fans who are still here, well, they've only stayed to berate the men in maroon there. Lawrence Shanklin's gone over, he's got the captain's armband in his left hand, he's clapping the effort of the Hearts supporters, but the rest of them are staying well back. And you just wonder what this means for Stephen Naismith as Hearts boss, because this run can only go on for so long before he's emptied. That's the sad truth of the matter. A Hearts team where some of the squad were talking about challenging the top 2 from last season this term, splitting them, talks of title challenges. I think Jan Danda mentioned that at one point after the draw with Rangers on the opening day. Well, here we are beyond mid-September, and that remains the only point they've managed to register in what's been a tortuous, woeful start to the season. The St Mirren players still out there celebrating because it finished here in Paisley this afternoon. St Mirren 2, Heart of Midlothian 1.